This is Jonah Hill, and you're listening to the only podcast that matters.
Bro Gang, we are joined by the Emirati of Engineering, the Prince of Production. He is the Ghislaine to Thugs Jeffrey, the Sultan of Slime Season, the Grammy-winning governor. He must be on chemicals, bro, because his finger is on the button. The Frenchie Pharaoh, Baron of the Boards, Urethra on X Games mode, how he be streaming. The Twitch Titan, the Maestro mixing, call him ODB of eggs, because baby, he likes it raw. His honor of Hold'em, but he know when to fold him. Audio engineer and DJ Alex Tumay. Alex, how are you?
What's up, man? I've obviously listened to a bunch of the podcasts, and like every time I'm like, there's something I could never do. That's a skill set that.
How would you define that skill set?
It's me and Young Thug.
Like,
what are you talking about? It's rapping.
I believe the term is a beautiful mind.
Right.
No, it's me and Jeffrey, bro.
You're comparing yourself to Young Thug.
I feel like the better comparison is Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane, when he speaks, is what he raps. It's I feel like
he's always like rapping.
Yeah,
speaks in bars.
Yeah, he
Don't
speaks in
Santa, baby. 'Tis the season.
Yeah. Well, if you're Gucci, I'm Jeezy. Alex, thank you so much for having us in your beautiful new studio.
Thank you.
We're in our studio, Ratchet. We were talking about Stankonia. This is like
We're studio
new,
rats, bro.
Yeah, this is our new
yeah.
vibe, dude. We are we are the rappers of the pod game, I would say. If I had to, we're the outcasts of podcasting.
There it is.
The outpod. I don't want to say it. It's
Podcast.
Podcast.
That is the word already. Podcast with a K.
Podcast is the pun already.
Yeah.
Alex, the first thing we want to do is a fit check. The choice for you, sir, is do you want to start top down or bottom up when you walk us through the totality of your outfit today?
I guess top down.
Nah, it's a cop, bro. You're a cop.
That's cop.
It's a cop
No.
answer. It's too late. So
But I always wear hats, and I feel like hats are such an
Wait,
important.
you build your outfits around your hats?
Well, no, I just always am wearing a hat
Well, the hat is
because I'm
clearly-
losing my hair.
The
so
hat
it's
is.
like-
Well, I mean, welcome to the club, brother.
Yeah.
The hat is clearly the centerpiece of this fit. So
Are you
let's start with the
buzzed? Are you on a zero right now?
Oh yeah, by accident.
What happened?
So I've been buzzing my hair, and I wanted to grow it out again and just kind of do like the crazy like
Sure.
mad scientist kind of vibe.
Is it curly? What is it like?
It gets like just out.
Okay.
It's just
out.
out. It just
Straight
keeps
out?
going. It
Okay.
just goes
on forever.
Hair don't stop.
equally
keep
in every
going.
direction.
But you
And-
fucked it up.
But so like it was obviously like growing on the sides and whatever, and I was like, oh, let me trim it. I could do this myself.
I think you could afford a barber at this point, though.
But I was like, hey, let me just trim it. I
Okay.
wanted to try.
You were in like a marathon overnight session. Just like I just need to fucking do it.
Oh, I was. My girl was at work and she left me alone for too long.
That's never. It's like you're like a gremlin, bro.
She forgot to.
Don't keep him up after 12. Don't give him a bath. Don't let him cut his own
She
hair.
forgot to lock away the scissors.
Yeah,
and all sharp
exactly.
objects.
Yeah,
And so I
she
just
wasn't
started.
childproofed.
I just started trimming, and get
Get
higher.
fucked up.
The rest is history.
And
Dude.
higher. And then I look like a person in an insane asylum.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like,
all patched up.
yeah,
And shit.
I was like, fuck this. I just
He's the Joker,
shaved it all
baby.
off.
So what hat are we using to cover up your exposed dome piece?
This is my hat from Absolute Bagels.
Ooh.
I went to Absolute Bagels and I liked their bagels, and I was like,
You're like,
I
let me
have
get
the
a hat.
and they were like, yeah, you could have a hat. So I bought a hat.
Toasted, not
They
toasted.
didn't run out of cream cheese.
No, they had so much.
How many hats do you own?
20, 30. I feel like I'm not like a guy who collects hats. I just buy like 3 and I wear them until they're disgusting.
Right. And then you got
And I try and clean them, and then I ruin them in the cleaning process.
What's your regimen? You have a regimen for cleaning hats? Maybe you could.
No, I don't. I keep meaning to save the TikToks where it's like guys like stripping vintage hats, but
Yeah.
instead I just like soak them in water and let them dry in the sun. And like this one's a little stinky.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to clean that guy.
I have a
that comes with
regimen,
the territory
but
of being a
it's
studio
50-50.
rat. Stinky hats.
What are you saying?
I have a regimen, but it's 50. It's like hand washing. You air dry it, and then you like hand dry it, and it usually kind of comes out like okay, but you have to soak it for a really long time, and
A lot of
still shrink
effort
a
when you
little.
can just buy a hat at the bagel shop,
Yeah,
right?
right. And this is like
Get your hat at the
$4
bagel
or some
store.
shit, so
Yeah.
it's great.
All right, so moving on down.
Yeah. What about the? Don't forget the spectacles, dog.
Oh, these are Garrett Light.
Ooh, okay.
I wanted to get
TLCO.
fancy glasses so
Yeah.
that I wore them all the time and didn't break them, because I was like a Warby Parker
That's
guy,
a pro move.
and yeah,
Shout out Warby. My wife works there. I will say Garrett Light has yet to apologize to the Asian community for
That's
his
true.
racism during COVID.
wait, what did it do?
He had some like anti-China COVID tweet or
Yeah,
whatever.
some
my
like
God. Now I gotta-
yeah. Oh, we're
No.
no,
Break 'em.
yeah.
We'll be the speedy
Should I
moment
break 'em?
to your rage age.
No,
Just
don't-
soak
I
them
mean,
half.
they're too expensive to
I need
break.
to
You need to
see.
see, dude.
The
But
pro
I will
move
get
though,
new glasses now.
it is the pro move to get very expensive glasses and sunglasses, so you always
You care
looking
about
after them. Looking after them.
That's how
As
I
much as
am
you
with
can.
clothes in general. Like I feel like
That's the way to do it.
That's
I
maturity.
was like a fast fashion guy for like so many years, and then I was like, all my stuff just falls apart. After
Right, it's
2
not
or 3
worth it.
wash.
Yeah,
So now
cost per wear, dog. That's how you break down every purchase.
That's my girl runs like a vintage fashion brand.
Shout her out. What's the
Oh,
brand?
wear St. Evans.
There it is.
okay. Look at that free plug up top.
Hell yeah.
Did you ever get any trickle down, gently used garments from Thugger?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Was it
okay.
like the skinny,
Please go on.
Was it like hot pink skinny jeans? Like
No. I don't
That would
think.
be
I don't think any shirts, pants, shoes would ever be transferable. He's very skinny.
Right.
So what did you get? His like bagel store hats?
I got a jacket I got like a faux leather jacket from.
Awesome.
It's a one that he wore on the cover of the New York Times.
What?
Yeah.
So that's like memorabilia.
Yeah, I have it. I still have it. I don't wear it.
Right.
Do you have the dress?
I wish. I wish.
What did he say? He was wearing the dress because he had an AK-47
had
on
a
his
stick.
Yeah, stick.
Got a
Very
stick under
believable,
there.
especially that era. Yeah, very
Yeah.
believable.
Have you ever worn contacts? You're always a glasses guy.
Glasses.
Okay.
I wore contacts when I was like 15, and then I fell asleep with them, and that was the era where you
Fucks you
couldn't
up.
do that,
Right.
and it was just like tore apart my cornea and
Yeah.
whatever, and I couldn't see for a
You
very
get like
long time.
corneal ulcers.
Yeah, it was really
gnarly.
bad. It's like
Damn.
very like
Thank God
Jaggedy.
the technology has improved since then. Saved so many future engineers their eyesight.
yeah. Well, now I just wear glasses, but I wear these all the time now because I used to like put my glasses in my pocket, they'd break, and then I have to go get new ones. Now I wear these all the
What
time.
about sunglasses though? You do like prescription?
I have the
sunnies?
little fucking.
Oh, they're
The
transitionals.
clip-ons.
I have the clip-ons.
They're trans friendly. Oh, they're
No.
clip-ons. Okay.
Yeah, I have the clip-ons.
All right.
Respect, dude. Little
Which are-
Dr. Robotnik vibes. you know?
Yeah.
Steampunk.
Okay. Then we got the flannel.
Yeah, what's
with
the
a
overshirt?
This is from Beams.
Ooh, Beams Plus?
I bought it in Japan. I don't know which one.
There's like 100
there's
beams.
1,000
There's so
beams.
many beams.
Yeah.
There's
And
like
they're all bangers.
every single one's amazing. Every single one has like the best clothes, the best like cuts. Like the way this fits in general, like the layers.
But that's like what,
inside of
a
it.
triple XL in Japanese
I
like
think so,
sizing?
something like
Yeah.
that.
And it's not that bad with price. over
Right.
there.
No, it's
It's
super
not.
fair.
Yeah.
I think this was like probably like $80 American.
Yo, shout out fucking Beams Plus. Send us some fucking
incredible.
flow.
And they won't because you have to go there.
Yeah.
Like I think.
we got a conversation cooking.
Oh,
up
you
with
did?
them. Yeah, we'll,
All right,
we'll
just-
holler
just
at you.
throw
dude.
me.
We might
in
have a
there.
little plug situation.
Yeah, because
I'll-
otherwise I have to go back to Japan, which is really hard right now.
How many times have you been to Japan?
Twice.
Okay.
For work or for pleasure?
My girl's family is out there,
Sick.
so we went and visited them once, and then I went with my brother once.
Did you do a lot of shopping out there? Or?
Yeah, it's all. I do.
How much did it blow
And
your
eating.
dick off? Just the shopping.
I love it there.
Yeah.
I would live there.
A
I was
traditional
trying
like
to find
any other.
clients there.
Shopping in Japan.
Have you ever worked with Oh my god, fuck! There's like
Teriyaki Boys?
the Teriyaki Boys. There's one Japanese rapper that you need to just get. It's like on it. I forget. I'm not gonna try and rap.
Who
it.
was Underwater Squad? He's Korean, right?
Yeah, that's Keith Ape.
And
I worked
Jin
with
was
Keith Ape.
Chinese?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Keep going. You want to keep going?
No,
You wanna
I'm not on my Garrett
guessing
Light shit.
Japanese
I'm not on
rappers?
Garrett Light shit. My bad.
But they're like very like all they keep it in the family over there.
Okay.
Like they don't want the American
No outsiders.
engineering them. Like yeah, it's like very. So I tried to like
Make some
I talked to a
connections.
couple of like Japanese engineers when I was out there and tried to pull up on the studios, but they're always busy, whatever. And I was also like I really wanted to like see the sites and
Sure.
JP the Wavy.
That's a good name.
He's a fire Japanese rapper.
First
check
box
more out.
check. Just have a fucking good ass name,
Exactly.
dude. Damn. All right. Maybe that'll be the outro music. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about the tea, or was that a thermal? What do we got
This
on there?
is Pa.
Oh, shit.
So this is-
Shout out Pa, friend of the pod.
I love them.
Yeah, they
so are the
rock.
socks actually.
Oh,
Oh no,
nice.
they're not. Fuck.
Oh, they're
I'm
not?
lying. I changed my socks at the last second.
Why were they stinky?
No, they were just like a little like
It wasn't
too
the vibe.
matchy, too matchy.
What about the cords?
These are Acne.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I love Acne pants in general. Are
They
fucking
make great pants. I
Their
will
denim's
say.
kind of fallen off.
It
Ever
has
since they
it.
kinda
I
changed-
don't wear denim.
They
I just
changed the
Really?
denim program
What's
to
the
like
thinking there?
I just only used to wear jeans, and that like I bought like a bunch of slacks and cords, and that's it.
You're
Now
on your grown man shit.
I don't know that I am. I just
Those have pleats?
no.
Okay.
I wish
That's the next level, dude.
I have.
That's some
I have a
fucking
few
pleats.
pants with pleats, but I'm kind of like off pleats now too. I've like moved.
we off
in-
pleats.
I've just like moved
We
into
off
more and being more and more comfortable and more like
Yeah, bro. I mean, you were
Falling
you
apart.
were in physical distress from sitting at your desk for so long, in your
100%.
chair for
Yeah,
so
my
long,
back hurts.
twisting knobs
24/7.
and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's all about cozy.
Yeah, all my
cozy
jeans
stew
are
vibes.
one size too. All my pants are one size too big. Because like
By
you know,
design.
yeah,
'Cause
because you
it's
wear
all
tight
bro.
pants, you sit down. It hurts
No
your
way,
back.
dude.
Grow into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about the new socks?
These are Front Street General.
Ooh.
Oh, we were just
Yeah, that we were across the street.
across the street there.
I love it.
Yeah. And then the newbies.
Oh yeah, and then I have the green New Balance. I don't know. They're the 991s. I don't know what they have
They're
like a
fucking
name.
fire, bro.
I love them.
Are you a big New Balance guy?
I wasn't until I bought one pair, and now I am.
You're forever
That's all it
converted.
takes.
Yeah.
They're the marijuana of.
They're just so comfortable,
themselves.
especially like the 900 series.
That's an indica for your feet, dude.
And then,
Sleepy strain.
but you keep the Crocs on deck
I like
in the
that.
studio, yeah.
when you're trekking.
I
trotting around
don't
the stew.
wear shoes in the studio.
Mm.
And then I always feel like
respect-
Wait, we're supposed to take our shoes off?
no, you can do whatever you
Okay,
want.
okay.
I don't care. I'm like, I'm going to be, I've never worn shoes in the studio. Like even back in the
That's
day.
always been like your trademark.
Like I always just take them off the second I get to the studio.
How it's super respectful, honestly.
Did you ever get flack from like any rappers that are like, "Yo, put your fucking shoes on, you disgust."
Who's this
Everybody's been
crazy
really
white
nice
boy?
to me.
Foot.
I think like when I first started, I always had a cosign in the room. Like when I met Metro, who's like the first person I ever worked with,
Metro.
the manager Chris was like, Alex is the guy.
Mhm.
And so like I could take my shoes off.
Right.
You know, you have a cosign. And then Metro introduced me to Thug and like Alex is the guy.
Right.
And then I could
The
don't have to shoes.
cosign is everything.
And
And
also
also, is what allows you to pat around
right.
in socks.
But also I was wearing Clarks all the time back then, and
Okay.
those will get you made fun of way
Really?
fast.
I mean,
way
it's such
faster
a
than-
such like a Wu-Tang, Shaolin, New York thing, right? Versus
And,
like,
well, in Atlanta, it's like sneakers. Like,
Right.
That's the thing. And so I was wearing like boots, and they were like they were
this
like
boot ass
what the fuck?
motherfucker.
Yeah. So they call them like the engineer threes or some bullshit.
that's amazing.
I think that's probably why I started taking my shoes off.
Oh yeah, because you're like, I'm not going to get clowned
yeah,
again.
I'm leaving the
Fool me once.
fucking side.
The Mixmaster 2s.
Yeah.
What is ring? Do we know
Oh
what this
yeah,
is?
let's
This-
talk about the jewels.
This is my grandpa's,
Oh shit,
and he left it to me, or he left it to
was your
somebody.
grandfather a rapper? That has
Oh,
a nice
it's
little
fucking-
stone in it.
I think so.
Old Thug.
Yeah.
So my grandparents lived in the Bronx,
Okay.
and my grandpa was a taxi driver, and he
Noble
put
profession.
3 daughters through college
Damn.
on a taxi driver's salary.
Yeah.
Back when men
And-
smelled of milk and gold.
And my grandma ran numbers for the mob.
Okay.
And
A
I
lot of air quotes around
I
that.
don't know. I never knew what that meant.
She was
ran
a
numbers.
bookie?
She was a bookie.
Yeah.
My grandma was a bookie, apparently.
Damn, your grandparents sound fucking cool as shit, dude.
They were super cool. And I want to know more because like when my grandma was like on her deathbed, I went and visited, and everybody left the room for a minute. And she was like, she thought like the nurses were like stealing from her. or
Sure.
something. She was just not all
As
there.
they are wont
But then
to do.
she like in a moment of lucidity / not lucidity, like thinking she was 40 something years in the past, was like, there's somebody that can kill these people.
oh my God.
And they owe me a body. And I was like,
They owe me a body.
and she like she's an old Puerto Rican woman. So she obviously that's not how she said it, but she said something along those lines. And I was like, there's some more mob
Yeah.
shit that
Bro.
I want to know
Your
about.
grandma was spitting bars up until the very end.
Up until the end. I
Meemaw
want
was
to know,
running the
I want to
block.
know more.
Wow. That's
I've thought
incredible.
about going to the there's like a bar, like an Italian bar in the Bronx near where they lived. And I want to go there and be like, listen, who knew Shorty and
Yeah.
who knew Gloria?
Right.
Yo,
Like,
And they're gonna be like,
Abuela-
are you a cop?
yeah.
What's the statute of limitations?
Abuela Gloria was just fucking running the block,
Damn.
bro.
Yo, shout out
Carmen
to fucking
Gloria.
grandparents
Carmen
everywhere.
Gloria.
Literally the most mob name.
Right?
ever.
She was,
Incredible.
someone's got to write a Bronx Tale, the sequel.
Yeah.
And lest we forget the panties.
Yeah. What
We're
underwear
rocking
do we
with.
rock in?
Something
Oh.
comfortable, I have to assume.
just Calvin Klein
Boxer briefs?
boxer briefs.
Nice.
The ones with the big letters, like the fancy.
Oh, sure. Of
nicer
course.
ones.
You know.
Oh, and what about the jacket? That
this
it
is-
is 75 degrees out today, but
Yeah, I was gonna wear something heavier, and then I walked outside, and I was like, oh no, I'm changing. This is and Austin.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Austin, or
One of-
his new favorite
One
brand.
of our new favorite brands.
I DM'd you about it. I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
right. Yes.
I was
That's
like-
how this conversation, this
I-
all came together over Ann Austin Johns.
Yeah,
A love for Ann Austin.
I love them.
Shout
So
them out for
I have
connecting
the
the dots.
I have the jacket, and I have the work pants that
Fire.
like, that match. And then I was gonna buy the same cardigan that
Yeah.
you
Shit sold out.
the big
sold
chunky
out.
boy.
But I had literally just bought like a bluish purple sweater, and I was like, it's kind of crazy to buy
It's
another-
a very
Is it-
specific
is it-
garment.
It's a very.
you know?
It's just like
Is it crazy?
it's not. I mean, it is, but not
but
to
it's,
me.
It's,
It's the
not
right
to-
kind of crazy.
Not to a Johns enthusiast.
And I just spent like so much money on a fucking cardigan from fucking CHTM.
Of course.
Yeah.
Shout out Sweet
So
Too.
I love them, and
Yeah.
I'm there all the time. And they had like an Orally
Oh,
cardigan,
fuck yeah, dude.
like a wool one. It's-
You're a man of exquisite taste in cardigans and just really everything.
I
Crocs
just-
gibbets as well. We haven't talked
When
about
you're-
hundreds of gibbets on your Crocs.
I could shout out another company.
Okay.
Not Impressed, New York City. She did the gibbets, the little flower ones.
Okay.
They're like beads. She does makes like women's bags and
Wow.
stuff. Like all the beaded bags, you know, there's like the thing.
High-end
all your
gibbets.
clothes, like this fit included, are very like high quality but understated and not like loud. They're not like screaming from the rafters or anything. when you're in the studio with rappers, who gets the fact that you are operating on this like higher plane, and who kind of looks at you and it's like, oh, this fucking normcore, whatever.
Thug gets it.
Yeah.
Thug gets it.
gets
He sees the text out. He's like, ooh, this is nice.
Well, also,
The
like I
hand
have like you can't see it, but there's a Bottega bag in the corner.
Oh, there it is.
And like,
Okay.
So he,
Okay, all right.
so like last time we hung
Big
out was
woven motherfucker. What are we talking about?
it's just the padded cassette bag.
yeah.
Last time I saw him was the album release.
For Punk?
Which I didn't work on, but like he's like one of my best friends. So I went to the album release. We went
Did you
bowling.
smash up the Rolls Royce Phantom?
Oh no, I didn't do that. That was in Atlanta, I think. But
No, that was in LA. We were
it
in
was in
LA.
LA. Oh yeah, it was in LA.
On Fairfax or some shit.
It
Yeah.
was probably right by the studio that he's always at. But we went bowling for his album release.
Okay.
Fire.
He loves bowling.
Is he good?
He's fucking nasty.
He's nice.
Yeah, me and him were betting like 1,000 a game.
Oh,
And,
really?
Yeah.
How was your
How much?
bowling?
I'm
game?
good.
How much did
I'm
you
good.
lose?
Yeah.
I lost 1,000. We went
Okay.
2-1.
Rappers love bowl. I know Wayne's a big bowler.
Yeah, I mean bowling's
There's
great.
only two rappers.
Pusha T is a big
Pusha T.
bowler.
Yeah.
Everybody in YSL bowls. Every single person.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Like T-Shine bowls.
Is it because of the neon black lights and everything?
I think
love
it's
the
just because
fucking neon
bowling's
green.
the best thing you can do.
It's
with
just
your
fun
time.
as hell.
It's just with your boys. Just fucking.
Well, it's
it feels
also
like
like
a sport.
Yeah,
but
you
it's
can
not.
Well, you can smoke
compete.
weed and do it.
Yeah,
know?
you can do anything and do it.
Just shit. I mean, anything?
I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
My dad might watch it.
We'll cut that out. All right. And you're
Or
drinking
listen.
some water straight from
Yeah.
the tap out of a
Maybe.
glass,
Out of
no
a glass.
plastic, out here at Tumay Studios.
Saving the environment.
Yeah.
Every sip.
Also,
Alex-
like I think that I'm not allowed to use the plastic bottles here. I don't know.
Really? That's the studio rule?
Those are like for the clients.
What are your studio rules?
I mean, mine.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Okay.
You do whatever you want.
Anything goes.
Really?
Anything goes in this room, as long as I don't have to like deal
Clean
with
up.
it. You know.
Who's
Well, like-
the messiest person that you've ever worked with?
I feel like
Put
Doug's
something on
pretty
blast.
messy.
Oh, really?
But like,
Which is like ashing on the floor?
Yeah, blunt
Yeah,
guts
just-
everywhere.
yeah, he's just carefree.
Right.
Because he's a spirit.
He's operating
yeah,
on another fucking
he's
wavelength.
He's on another plane. And
He's a banshee. He's not a human.
I think him operating on another plane is fine.
right.
like,
So he
I-
can be messy.
He can do whatever.
When
he
you're the
wants.
goat, you could take a shit in the corner.
like he, I mean,
Has Thug ever taken a shit in the corner?
no.
Okay.
No. He's pretty respectful. I think like
That would
he's
be a step
messy.
too far.
He's messy, but as a product of being carefree,
Sure.
and not as a product of being like fuck you. I'm going to just
Right.
It's him just having a presence.
He's pure of heart.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Thug. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast. So obviously, we have a bunch of Thug questions. You are his right-hand man,
BFF.
mixing and mastering for years. You've now kind of spread your wings. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about like current stuff too. But when you were working with Young Thug through all the years, what's just like the most genius moment that you ever witnessed where you're just looking at him and you're just like, my goodness,
Fucking light bulb.
how did this man do this thing?
He did. I mean, there's countless.
Sure.
Right? Like
We probably
of
do a
course.
whole pod on his goat
like,
moments.
When we first started working, he was not like a studio guy. Like he didn't like rapping. He didn't like being in the studio.
Okay.
And I think like part of the reason he started to like making music so much is when me and him started working, he didn't have to like deal with an engineer being too slow, whatever,
Yeah, right.
throwing him off his game. And then like Metro was there, and Metro obviously and Southside and all of them are feeding him some of the greatest beats of
Sure.
all time, and especially in that era.
It was like a perfect storm to make him be like, oh, I'm at home now in the studio.
And then the studio, like we had a pool table, we had like games, we had whatever. It was very like family. Like the studio, all the rooms revolved around the center room. And you walk out and there's people playing video games. There's people
Well, community.
hanging out. Yeah, it was very.
Was this
community.
Metro
It's like college.
studio in Atlanta or was it?
This was Dallas Austin's
Okay. Right. Oh, yeah.
studio, which was owned by another couple at the time. They were like doing their own thing, and they hired me. And through them hiring me, I was like the head engineer there. But I was only supposed to be the tech. And then people were like, "We need an engineer," and I was like, "I guess I'll fucking record."
Yeah, I can do that.
Who's
And
better
then-
at pool, you or Thug?
It used to be me, but then he got like
Is-
he's just good at everything.
Is
I
he,
swear to
super
God, he's like a
competitive.
Well, he's very athletic, right? He was a quarterback.
he's athletic.
Yeah.
He definitely has like good hand-eye coordination, and he also like will do something until he's good at it.
Right.
He just will keep doing it. Like,
Repetition.
when we first started playing, I was like, "Oh, this guy's really bad at pool." And then like a week later, I was like, "Oh, this guy's really good at this." And like 2 months later, I was like, "Oh, this guy's better."
So
than
besides
me at
Bitch, you
pool."
becoming a
wasn't with
pool
him shooting
shark.
in the gym.
Yeah.
Bitch, you wasn't with him shooting.
Yeah.
in the gym.
So besides becoming a
Constantly.
pool, like a professional pool shark, what is like the moment where you're like, holy fucking shit, I'm in the presence of greatness?
So obviously watching him record a song where like Danny Glover was the first, like one of the first
Fucking
songs I ever
smacker.
recorded with him. I think it was literally the third song I ever recorded with him.
Wow.
and he did like anybody who's worked on a song like Southside and TM, like they'll talk about how they made the beat in 5 minutes and Thug made the song in 5 minutes, and then it came out like that. Like I mixed it in the process. Like what you hear is like that 10 minutes, and I hate time constraints and like how long something took adding to the mythology of it, but in this case, I was like, it's also one of the greatest songs of that decade.
I just bought a Bentley and a bitch came with it, dude.
It's one of the most. It's definitely like a pivotal moment in Atlanta rap.
So farm to table, Danny Glover comes together in 10 minutes. That's fucking crazy.
Every single line was what I remember being like. I'd punch him in, he'd do the line. I'd punch him in, he'd do the line. I'd punch him in, he'd do the line. It was all off the top of his head.
What the?
There was no retakes or anything.
Right.
The hook was one take.
Incredible.
The verses were all like there was nothing where he was like, okay, do it again.
Right.
And which even for him, like he'll run it back, he'll whatever. But like that was like a moment where I was like, this is all this like magic, something like somebody come look.
Something's happening.
Somebody come in here.
Yeah, this is
Come just me and him in the room. I'm like, somebody get in here. I actually like ran out of the room. I was like, you got to hear this to everybody.
Right.
Brought everybody in the studio into the room. I was like, listen to this fucking song.
Is Danny Glover, was that before Stoner or after? Because those were like 1, 2. Okay.
After. I met him after Stoner. Okay. Stoner was like starting to become a thing.
Right.
So you cut a song with him in 10 minutes. How many songs in total would you say that you've done with Thug?
Thousands.
Easily.
For the first week, like when we started doing Rich Gang stuff, the first week of the Rich Gang, which lasted a few months, we did 75 songs.
Wow.
1 week.
Damn. And these shits are just most of these are in the vault?
Most of them are in the vault. A lot of them, there was like that horrible leak situation.
Right.
A lot of them came out during that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of them are in the vault. A lot of them are on the tapes. Like some of them made Barter 6, some of them made the Slime Season, some of them made obviously Rich Gang the Tour.
Right.
So like a good bit of them have come out, over the years, but
fucking crazy.
Well, so with you, you're a man of comfort. You like being comfortable in the studio. You like the Crocs. You like shoes off, big pants. What does Thug typically like to wear? As you watched him evolve into a studio guy, did his wardrobe evolve along with that?
I feel like he's always been like a sweatsuit kind of guy. Like,
in the stew.
I think also when he's traveling, like, you know, I feel like
comfort.
He's very much of the same mindset. He wears a lot of tight clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does.
Like he's like a medium guy.
Yeah.
And
child's medium.
Yeah, and I've never been of that mindset. Like I used to wear like skinnier jeans, but like I was definitely never of like the skinny. And he's always been that. But I think now he's in like the bigger pants world. I feel like I've seen him in like the flared pants.
Is he always in designer, or do you ever catch him in like Puma or Fila?
I think designer 24/7. Like
if it's always a sweatsuit, it's still designer.
Yeah.
Always.
We used to call it not missing the swipe, because when he'd go shopping, I'd be like, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I would very much like.
What's the most you've ever seen him like spend then on a shopping spree?
He went to in Paris. We were at like a Saint Laurent. And I think he spent like 30-40 grand. I was never like with him on like the big trips, which he's posted like the receipts online and shit.
How much money do you think you've spent or has been spent on you when you weren't missing the swipe?
Not much. I mean, I
let me get these Celine socks.
Yeah. Well, I got a wallet once.
Bottega?
A Saint Laurent wallet. And then he also got our camera guy a Saint Laurent like passport wallet.
Fire.
And the camera guy, BLB, swiped my headphones and he's like, I'll give them back to you. But I had the Saint Laurent wallet still, and I was like, okay, cool. Whenever I get the headphones back, you get your
swaps,
passport, and I have it here. I still have the passport wallet, so
there you go.
When we were texting to kind of set up our studio time to come up here in the beautiful Tumay, you were very gracious and kind, and you were like, you were a consummate host. You were like, yo, do you guys like any specific waters, any specific candles, snacks, incense, etc.? Like, what are the Thugs need? What are Thugs needs? Not the Thug. What are Thugs ask when he's coming into the studio?
I think in general, like he's not the kind of person to have like a rider.
Okay.
But all the studios know it's like sour candies.
Right.
Like his current engineer Baines has a studio in LA, and that's where he is most of the time. And that studio is literally just stocked. Like it has like a side of the room with like a bookshelf of just candies.
Nice.
Which the first thing I do, I don't even say hi to anybody. I walk into that room and I grab like a whole bunch of candies, fill up my pockets, and then I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, everybody?
Bro, he's got to go chill at Benny Blanco's pool house. That man just has Japanese candies like along one wall. It's like the movie theater style where you just like open the chute, just like grab a bag.
I had like a small like little endorsement thingy with Trolley where they were sending me like, every release they were sending me stuff.
That's a big plug.
And I asked them to build that.
Like
here.
the canister.
Is it coming?
No, they said fuck off. But
you tried though.
I tried.
Respect.
And that's what's important. I'll probably do it myself at some point.
What does Thug smell like?
Good. I mean, he's like very like manicured, takes care of himself. Like I'm sure he's got like a litany of colognes and
Has he always been that way?
Professional grooming routine.
Has he always been that way, or did that kind of again evolve with like, you know, when he got his money up?
I feel like he's always taking
bad.
I feel like he's always taking care of himself. I feel like, I mean, I'm trying to remember like way back in the day, but like by the time I had met him, he was very much of the mindset of like I'm the guy.
This man has such an amazing image, which is obviously like self-created.
Yeah, he had. I mean, I know his stylist Zoe is like a big part of like introducing him to new stuff, but you can't tell him what to wear. You can't show him something.
He dresses himself every day.
Yeah, and you can you can give him options, I'm sure, but he's going to pick what he wants.
Yeah, you got to curate for the curator.
Yeah,
you know.
Has he ever influenced your swag besides just like buying you shit? Then have you ever influenced him where he's like, yo, where can I cop some pa?
Yeah, some New Balances.
I did. There was a pair of shoes that I bought him once because I wore it. He's like, get me a pair. And I was like, all right.
What were they?
I think it was just like red, like all red Hirachis. Like,
oh shit! Okay.
Back in like when they first dropped, I was just at a fucking Nike store. Then we both wore them on tour, which is kind of cool. But other than that, yeah, it was just like a couple of pairs of shoes that he was like, "You need to get me those.
Get me those."
Have you ever like maybe taken a second look at, I don't know, like a rhinestone see-through shirt or something? Where you say, "Yo, could I pull that off?"
Yeah, I know I can't.
Not even a question.
But I think like there's like obviously his taste in like sweats and stuff, like the very expensive sweats. I'm like, okay, I could get that. Or like the Balenciaga jackets and shit. I'm like, those are sick.
Yeah. So you've worked with this man across thousands and thousands of songs, you know, spanning multiple eras of his career and your career. If you had to like narrow it down to just one thing, which I know must be incredibly difficult, what's your favorite thing about just working with the man, professionally speaking?
Everything felt important. Everything. And I think
monumental even, right?
Right. And obviously that's what you're chasing when you do music. It's the whole reason you get into it is to make something that people remember down the line. And obviously the way that music is digested now isn't really conducive to that. So you might make something amazing and people might care about it for a week or two and then they'll never talk about it again. Whether or not the song's amazing, whether or not it should be permanent, whether or not it's a classic in your mind, or there's a niche amount of people that will hold on to it forever. But with him, because he's so enigmatic and because people talk about him so much, the music I feel like has a longer life.
It sticks.
It sticks. And also the music is fucking incredible. And he's also like he's also so hyper influential. Like other music sounds like him. So
for sure.
Whether or not like
he influenced a generation,
right? 100%.
Him and Future,
Future, like fully influenced a generation. Then now you have like XXX and Juice WRLD and Playboy Cardi, and you can hear that in the newer generation already, which is crazy because like they're young,
right?
You know, they're in their 20s.
These kids are now in their teens,
and these kids are in their teens.
Yeah, it's like hyper influential and like the speed,
and it has nothing to do with. You want to blame the labels, you want to blame like anything but.
Well, do you think there's blame to go around, or is that just like a symptom of the world that we live in?
At the risk of, you know, whatever, who's ever Tim Cook, is he in charge of Apple?
Yes.
At the risk of him getting me
Tim
killed.
Apple, I believe is his name.
Yeah, Tim, Mr. Apple.
Yeah.
At the risk of Mr. Apple, because I think it's the platforms.
Yeah.
I think Spotify, whatever that guy's name from Spotify, I think Apple, I think
fucking Alexander Jurgensen.
I think the easy comparison for anybody that was around in the 90s is TRL changed how we digested music.
Fair.
Every week they wanted a new hit song. They wanted you to care about some new number one,
the new Fall Out Boy record.
Right. They wanted that. And so like even then, like that was like way faster. The cycle became way faster because of TRL, because of that. And then Napster and like the whole like digital age made it even faster. But like streaming is at a whole nother level. Like when your album is not new that week, you don't see it on the front page.
Like Marshall McLuhan said, man, the medium is the message. So now you're creating music that fits the medium, which in this case is the streaming platforms or like the social platforms.
Everybody's just trying to keep up. And I feel like it would be obviously it's never going to happen, but like, I'm not saying halt all progress, but digital stuff, like our brains still haven't acclimated to Facebook or MySpace or Friendster or what the fuck ever 20 years ago. And this keeps changing. And I'm like, let's catch up to Twitter. Like, let's figure that out. Yeah, exactly. And like, I think obviously the long-term effects we don't know. And, you know, and the way that music is being digested now has nothing to do. Like, people are always like, music isn't as good now. And I'm like, you're a fucking moron.
That's a terrible take.
That's just honestly the worst thing. There's more good music in 2021 than there was in the 1960s combined.
Bars.
Yeah, fuck the Beatles.
Facts. Well, no, don't get crazy. Don't get out.
Fuck the Beatles.
There you go. God damn. There you go.
I'm gonna get you. I say fuck the Beatles all the time. I love the Beatles, but fuck them.
But fuck them. Okay,
who's better, Migos or the Beatles?
Migos.
There you go. See,
I like that though. Love the Beatles, but fuck them.
Yeah, Beach Boys are better.
Is Young Thug the Beatles of 2021 or of this century?
I feel like
in terms of what
all four of them: influence, drug consumption, drip. I don't know.
I feel like whoever influenced the Beatles is who Young Thug is.
Okay.
So Bob Dylan?
Yeah. I think
Thug is probably more like a Bob Dylan.
He's more of a Bob Dylan.
Yeah, he's
figure.
still going. Yeah. What's the worst thing about working with Young Thug?
Yeah.
Just work-wise.
The time.
Yeah.
The amount of time that
the commitment.
The time commitment is like, it's a 24/7, 360. I took 2 days off from the studio between 2013 and 16.
What do you do on those 2 days?
Slept.
Okay.
So
I think I went to a wedding and a funeral and I slept.
Jesus. Life, death, music, bro.
Yeah, I literally like
that's
left the day,
circle.
came back the night, and that was it.
And then just went back to your ass groove in the studio chair.
Yeah.
And I was there, and I also became his DJ during that time.
Right.
And like, so like there was no time to be a human being.
Was it a constant slog, or was there one instant when you're doing on this like 24/7, 365 call where you had to go like really above and beyond, like I don't know, travel across the fucking country, like get a hard drive or something?
I flew so Thug and Rihanna had like a session, or was supposed to have a session, and I flew from Atlanta to LA. The session got canceled and I flew back to Atlanta.
Damn.
And that was like, and they just wanted me to bring the hard drive.
Right,
That's what they
right.
wanted.
You're a bag man at that point.
And I was like, okay, cool. I'll bring the hard drive, whatever. And I also really want to work on this session.
Sure.
But like, yeah, I'll fly across for the session. And the session got canceled. I just got shit faced on like, I got the mess. I like always buy the fucking whatever Wi-Fi in the plane. I got the text like
while you're on the way to LA.
It's like, don't leave the airport. And I was like, I'm getting fucked up. Like this is.
Did you cop the return flight while on the flight outbound?
I didn't buy my own flight. So
no, of course.
I didn't have, especially back then, I didn't have the money to do that.
Of course.
The day of flights, I'm like, no, you're paying for that.
Well, you've been this man's right-hand dude for so many years. You've also worked with Drake, 21 Savage on their project. Travis Scott. What's the secret to working with and getting along with, you know, people that are literally legends?
Yeah.
I mean, I met them all pre that status in general. Like Travis hadn't put out, I worked on Days Before Rodeo, so he had his niche following. But I mean, no, like one thing I'll say about Travis is like the first time I met him, I'm like, oh, this is going to be the biggest artist I've ever.
Oh, you knew
100%.
Interesting.
I heard.
You feel that way with
Upper
Drake
Echelon?
too?
I mean, Drake I met like way later in the game, and like the only thing I ever did with Drake was work with him through Travis Scott.
Okay.
On if you're reading this, I worked on the song Company.
Right.
And I've also like worked with OVO a lot. Like I've worked with 40 on like Party Next Door and Roy Woods and a few other things.
But Trav, you knew like from the first second you heard Upper Echelon.
Yeah, I heard Upper Echelon. That's when he was like very connected with T.I. and Hustle Gang.
He was on Grand Hustle, right?
Yeah, and so like he was in the studio with Hustle Gang working on the Hustle Gang 2 tape, and he was like there working on like just a feature song on that mixtape, and we worked for like a couple minutes, and then Metro introduced me and him working on Days Before, and he knew me through Thug. So I was like, literally, that was like I would say like of all the times in my life that have to be like the most pivotal, is like I went through a breakup and I was in the studio working on Rich Gang at night and Days Before Rodeo in the morning. And that was it. Like I would get to the studio at 10 a.m., work with Travis until 5 p.m. and from 5 p.m. until Travis came back, I was working on Rich Gang with Birdman and Doug and
Rich
Quan.
gang.
Hence the no sleep.
No, literally.
How'd
no.
you date? Is that why you broke up?
That's
You're married to the game, bro.
You chose the game over a girl.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. I mean, and again,
The game
that's,
chose you.
Yeah,
that's part of why I backed away from the recording full time kind of gig. Is like I was like, oh, I would love to be alive in my
A
own
human
right.
person.
Yeah.
Well, what's the secret to in the studio? Are you like meant to be kind of like a wallflower, just kind of chilling in the back when you're talking to whether it's Travis Scott at the very beginning of his career or Drake when he's already one of the fucking biggest artists in the world?
What are best
What is it?
practices? Yeah.
I think learning how to read a room is really important. And I always I was literally just having this conversation because it's such a skill that seems like a no-brainer. It's like when you walk in a room, be a little bit quiet,
Right.
just enough to be like, okay, this guy doesn't think I'm funny. Like, throw a joke
Yeah,
out there and be like, okay,
I could learn a thing or two from this, to be honest.
yeah, like, okay, this guy doesn't think I'm fucking funny. I'm just not going to make jokes anymore.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I'm not the joke guy today.
What is he like? Okay,
Right.
I'll do that. I'll talk about food.
Sure.
Like, I love food.
This is
I
the
can talk
act
about
like
food
you've
forever.
been here before type.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn how to code switch.
Right. Like I've always had. Not that. I just want to clarify. Not
That's James's advice, not Alex's advice in terms
No,
of
it's
code
like, all right,
switching.
well, let's be a foodie guy. Let's
Yeah.
be the funny guy.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we will say wearing a bunch of different hats.
Where- yeah,
You
where
love hats.
be a chameleon.
Yeah,
You
there
know?
it is.
Um,
Switch.
A room
but like
chameleon.
I've had a bunch of assistants, not my new ones. My new ones know how to read a room, but I've had a bunch of assistants where I'm in the room and like we're working on something. And he's like, "Why don't we try this?" And I'm like, "You need to shut up.
Pipe down.
Shut the hell up." And it's not even that you're wrong. It could be fucking right. Pull me aside, and then I'll tell them that you said it. I'll make sure you get credit, whatever it is. But like, I don't want to say go through the proper channels because that's part of why this industry sucks.
Right, the gatekeeping, yeah.
But don't like people expect something of you, so at least be their expectation for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then let them learn to, like you for other reasons. Like when I first started working with Travis, Metro, whatever, I was very quiet. And then like I was like, oh, let me clown somebody real quick. Let me throw a
We
joke
get
out
one
there.
little dart in.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, he's funny. Like, great.
Got it. Got roasted.
So I'm like, cool, I can make jokes here. Okay, cool. Let me do this. Let me do it, whatever. And like me and Thug, like obviously like when we first started working together, I was extremely quiet. The first 2 times I worked with him, first 2 songs we did, I didn't even see him.
Oh, shit.
He was in the booth with the lights off. I had headphones on recording him. And the second the song was over, he was gone. And I was like, what do you think about this? And he's gone.
He's not
talking
right.
to nobody.
Talking to a
You were
ghost.
seen and not heard.
yeah. And so
Or
like,
not seen and not heard, I
and
guess.
he just told somebody else that I'm the only person that will ever record him again. And that's how I found out I was his engineer. And then I met him later.
Right.
Like-
After you've been hired.
Yeah.
And the third time was Danny Glover.
Third time was Danny
But upon further inspection, you do have a studio rule, which I believe Kanye has a similar one, which is just shut the fuck up sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wait for someone to ask your opinion.
Right.
And then be ready. You have to be
Yeah, yeah,
ready.
yeah.
Whenever someone asks for some shit, you better have like all the information, whatever, like any idea you have, you better know it's right. Like I'm always like, if you're going to speak up, know you're right. Not like obviously everything's an opinion, but like if there's like 50-50, don't say it. 90-10, don't say it. 100% going to go over well, say it.
Okay.
And then like the more you're right, the more you can be wrong.
Right, sure.
Know
Know your
No one's
fucking role, people.
No one's batting 1,000. What about like when it's like
Besides Thug.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
What about like
100%.
when you've been up for 48 hours and the music is just like the loudest at turn up to 11. There's just like crazy weed smoke in your face. Like people are partying, people are getting on your nerves. Like how do you maintain zenness in the studio?
So part of why I'm not a recording engineer anymore and only mixing is like I get to do my own schedule.
Right.
Like I'm here by myself right now. Like
Work for
I'm working
yourself.
today.
Yeah.
Y'all are here. I'm working. Technically,
We're working too,
Yeah.
bro, by the way.
And like so, like when y'all leave, I'm gonna mix a couple of songs, send them, and if somebody has notes, I'll be like, cool. I'll get to that tomorrow.
Sure.
I'm asleep. Like,
Right.
whether
I'm
I'm-
living my life,
yeah.
finally.
Yeah, and I'm starting to make my own. Like obviously, there's a deadline. Like I did a Jack Boy record recently, and they were like, we need these 14 songs by the end of the week. They got them.
Right. It happened.
It happened. I was here all night. Whatever.
But you did it on your own terms.
Yeah. But back in the day, like I was known for like in between songs, takes, whatever, just disappear. I would just get up and
Just be unreachable.
She's like, I need to get out of here.
I would
for
be
a
in the
second.
studio, but I'd be in a back room, like
Yeah.
in another session, talking, getting coffee outside,
Right.
pretending that I smoke cigarettes, like just standing out front, something, and like
Just for
obvi-
peace of mind, so you
just-
can like take like a break.
yeah. Also, like there's something about sitting in the chair that is inherently stressful. Because like, I mean, I'm not going to mime it, but like if I turned around, my back's to an entire room of people
Right.
and they all want something from me,
Right.
whether they're recording or not. And also you know, the homies want something. So if like Doug stops recording and there's an open verse and I'm sitting in the chair, somebody in the room's going to hop on that song. Yeah. And sometimes that wasn't okay. And sometimes Doug didn't want that. So if I made myself scared, for me and him, it worked out great.
Right.
Me being scarce, like he would go play pool. I would go fucking like watch a TV show in the break room or the tech room and like, or like fall asleep. I used to fall asleep all the time just in the middle of the session. That was actually my trick to going home.
You'd fall asleep?
I'd fall asleep at the desk in the room.
Like intentionally just be like, you just zonk out?
I used to fake it. And then eventually I developed like a light narcolepsy. And
so like if the engineer's out, like the fucking session's over.
Well, if you want to leave, they know that you can keep going. If you're like, I'm tired, I'm going home. They're like, you can keep going.
Yeah.
But if you're asleep, they're like, we're going home. This guy's fucking
passed out at the goddamn controls.
And Birdman's a nice guy. Like he overall like was very nice to me. And like if I was like falling asleep, he'd be like, leave Alex alone. Don't touch him. Like everybody go the fuck out. And they would like
get a cat nap.
He'd like turn the lights off and leave the room.
Wow.
That's
so nice. Birdman will like tuck you in and make sure that you got a little fucking cat nap.
Like, Alex,
put some water next to you.
Like, okay, bye.
Little snoozer.
And I would wake up and people would come back.
Damn.
You know?
Oh fuck.
That's how you become a 5-star general, bro.
And then it was like
20 minutes of shut
fucking rest. We'll see.
Thug had a big 2021. He put out Punk. Did you have a favorite album of the year?
I'm trying to think of what I've listened to a lot this year. I feel like
you didn't post your Spotify Wrapped.
I don't even have Spotify.
Do you use Apple Music?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I use Apple Music. I like the interface better.
You don't use Ponos, the Neil Young shit? It's better sound.
With the whole
we love Neil Young,
interface.
But fuck them.
I can't get. Could it even have all the songs? It probably has like.
I don't know how it works.
Is it just Neil Young music? Like it's just like a trick. It's just a trick to make you listen to Neil.
Yeah, this is only where Neil
he has just so many fucking Lucy's, like similar to like a Thug.
He just put out a new album.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your
top of mind? What do you if you had to like what was up there for you?
I feel like I listen to stuff I work on more than anything.
Like you have to, right?
Well, after it comes out, I have a different attachment to it than just I like this music.
Right, it's personal.
I'm like, oh, remember when I did this thing, or like remember like the moments. Like it's like a time machine,
right?
You know. So I feel like I listened to like the Jack Boy album more than anything this year. Like and on top of that, he's incredibly talented and super slept on. And he's from Broward, where I lived for a very long time. So like,
wait, so when you work on a project and it comes out, like, are you able to listen to it, or are you kind of just like,
I completely detached from the engineering mindset. I honestly like.
So you listen to it, and then you listen to it as a fan.
As a fan. And I think it's like nice to be able to go, okay, I like this music.
I'll give you a stream or two.
Yeah.
What goes through your mind when you're listening to like a Thug project like Punk that you didn't work on? What's that?
Sounds like shit.
I mean, it's hard for me to listen to stuff I didn't work on from artists that I care about, because like I care about them and I want to be a part of it. But also like Baines is an amazing dude, a great engineer.
But there's some FOMO maybe? Or
it's always FOMO.
Yeah.
It's not like ill will or anything.
Right.
Like I like when Baines was here the night it came out. He was literally in this room the night it came out, like hanging out, like, or the night after it came out, like just hanging out. Like he's one of my best friends in music. Like I give him as much advice as I can about being in that situation and like trying to like have a life and do such a demanding job.
Right.
But he's also like loves that part of the job. He loves being on call. He's built different.
Well,
he'll like be holding Thug's snakes and like recording. Like he's
snakes in the studio.
He's a machine. Yes, Thug has like tarantulas, snakes, a cat.
Yo,
like,
so he's a big animal guy.
He loves
that
animals.
he can just like reel off encyclopedic facts about animals.
He loves animals.
What's his favorite animal?
It's gotta be snakes.
I feel like it's snakes or tigers or some shit.
Tigers?
Well, we went when we were in Dubai on tour. We went to a sheikh's house and they had a zoo.
Wow.
Like, and not like a zoo.
No, like a fucking zoo.
Like 50 tigers.
It was a zoovie.
And like
50 tigers?
50 tigers. No bullshit. And I could show you pictures.
Do sheikhs fucking bang YSL?
They love, their kids love rap.
Bro,
Okay.
that's what, when I was in Dubai.
Oh, Fat Joe was
at Salt Bay's restaurant because he was obviously it's some like whatever the equivalent of like a quinceanera
I was gonna say, what's the Muslim equivalent of a bar mitzvah?
It's probably not a bar mitzvah.
Yeah, just a birthday party.
Yeah. But and he was just there, like obviously not having a good time, and just like got paid $1 million to fly out, perform lean back, and go to the Salt Bay restaurant.
Yeah. Well, we went to the guy's house and like the kids showed us their sneaker collection. Fucking insane. Obviously.
How many pairs?
You say house, but
Thousands,
we're talking about
thousands.
a fucking
it's a compound.
Yeah.
But like they had like we were in there like one of the game rooms, one of the many. I mean, I can't even like begin to draw the floor plan.
Right.
Right. I know I could draw the zoo.
Right,
100%.
Did they have a recording studio, and how was it?
They did not. They had a where
Maybe they got to hire a certain engineer to build up the studio.
The amount of pitches I made when I was in Dubai.
I'm sure, dude.
I was like, you guys need a studio.
You're in chill
I'm like,
mode.
there's so many famous. You know how much money you can make off them?
For real.
I was like, also like, I'm pretty cheap.
I'm the guy who can get it done.
I could build the studio. Like I would say like it's only like a couple $1 million
Right.
for 6 months.
Know your audience.
And they're like, oh, that's it here. Like, take my fucking black card.
And like obviously they were like, yeah, we'll talk about it, but like who wants to talk to me in that situation?
Right,
they don't
right.
fucking want to talk to me.
They want to show you the tigers.
Yeah. But so they had a white lion that they had as a pet, that like a dog, like free roaming,
like an albino lion.
But it was
Like-
wait, hold on. It was just walking around.
well, at one point in its life, for the first 2 years, it was just walking around their house, and then they left for like a vacation and came back, and the lion was like, "This is my house now," and so they had to like put it in like
an enclosure.
an enclosure.
I am the captain now.
And it had its best friend was a dog, and there's a dog in the cage with him, and the dog was like, "Please, let me out of here."
Give me the
But the
fuck.
dog was like the size. It was like a mountain something or other dog. I don't know. It was a crazy trip. But yeah.
That's Dubai for you. God damn.
But yeah, there was tigers, and we were all like, I posted a picture of Doug that went viral of him like feeding a baby.
That's
That was
right.
So like that
Was he
that
tempted
was,
to
like,
buy a tiger after that?
No, I don't think.
You saw how fucking crazy it got.
Yeah,
You don't want to be responsible for a tiger getting out in Atlanta. Big
Yeah.
Boy owns a tiger.
That's
How about
right.
that?
He was telling us
and
about that too.
owls. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with the owl. Like the idea
Yeah.
of having an owl. But
And he
like,
breeds
obviously-
French bulldogs.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I thought about when I lived in Atlanta getting a French bulldog through Big Boy, just to say that I did.
Yeah, right.
Big Boy breed.
Yeah, this
Exactly.
is Big Boys. This is technically a member of Outcast.
Right. Dungeon Family. This is Generation 4 Dungeon
Yeah.
Family.
You're currently working on you're working with Snot.
Yep.
Or is it $? Not? I don't know. But so we talked about the kind of like the micro generations of how it's like Future Thug and then like Juice WRLD, Cardi, XXX, and now you have like these other guys that are kind of, and you see like the influence kind of
Mhm.
throughout generations. What stands out to you, because you've worked across 3 generations now at this point, so what stands out to you the most when you're working with someone from like the current newest generation as like the most different from maybe how like generations of like the Thug era have worked?
Well, I think some of the things that have carried down through generations is kind of like unintentionally are like the sonics being rougher and rougher and like
Like more lo-fi?
more lo-fi,
More
more
punk.
distorted, more punk. And I mean, I said it 6 years ago. I was like, rap is punk.
Mhm.
Like this is punk. This is rock music. Rock music isn't rock music anymore. Rock
Right.
music is something completely different. It's indie pop. It's
Right.
even the hardest of rock music that up to line of metal, where metal is metal, but like rock music is literally not.
There's no edge anymore.
They're not pushing the boundary.
Yeah,
of,
It's fucking
They're not. I'm sorry. Like,
torches.
I love rock music.
Right.
I like came up like I worked with indie bands and whatever. I love it. But like, if you take a rock band now and a rock band 10 years ago, they have very like the core ideals are pretty similar. You
Right.
know, whereas rap music from last week to this week does not feel the same.
Completely
And like,
detached,
and
yeah.
like you go back to like the early 90s of rock, and that felt like that. You know, it felt like things changed. Like there was like the grunge
right.
movement and shit like that.
Overnight, it would
There
shift.
were new movements in rock overnight. And rap feels the same way. And I feel like that, like sonically, and like they also like Uzi's clearly influenced by Paramore, and Panic at the Disco, and that level of like his melodies and like come from that. And I feel like
My
Snot
Chemical
even has-
Romance, all that shit. Yeah.
he definitely like the melodies, the guitar parts, and like there's elements of the rock music bleeding over, and like obviously like in the other way, like every artist has a rap beat, like every single like the instrumentals behind like most pop music, it might as well be trap or drill.
Right.
Like, but yeah, I think like the main thing that's transferring down is like it's getting like the almost a degradation of the original sound is becoming cooler and cooler and cooler and cooler. Like the 808 from 2013 is still being used, but it's been passed down song to song to song to song to song. And each one sounds a little bit cooler, a little bit grittier, has a little bit more saturation.
A copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. Eventually, it almost becomes like its own thing, even though you can feel, you can see the thread.
Carbon copy.
I was talking to somebody that like you could literally make a very interesting TV show about the Young Chop snare.
Okay.
Or the Spins 808. You could do it. Those two sounds are more important than anything that's happened in the past 10 years in rap or music in general. Like they've shaped how people make music.
The entire
people make
sonic
music
landscape,
around those sounds. Like they're like, oh, we need the chop snare. oh, we need the Spins 808. Like those are so important.
And are these young artists coming to you because you are so closely associated with Thug, and he's like their grandfather at this point almost?
Yeah.
I think someone like Ski Mask reached out to me through Scheme because of my association with that world. And like
It's a stamp on your resume.
Right. And I think it's just, how consistent are you?
Yeah.
Like, are you consistently finding new artists? Like I found Thug pre his real big moment. Same with Travis. Same with 21. Like
It's your ear.
I was there for it. And same with even Ski Mask. Like Ski Mask obviously had like big songs, but like that first album that he put out was like a huge moment for him. And so like that kind of shows that I'm at least know what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
That you're ahead of the curve. Even.
Right.
Does it get harder as you get older and as like more, you get like a little less on the fucking pulse?
I think that the pulse moves left and right now more than up or down, like a more forward or back or whatever. Like it's like, okay, we're gonna go here. Okay, we're gonna go here now. You know, and I think the way you can find where you belong.
Yeah.
You know, and as I get older, I feel less inclined to come off as like one of the guys.
Okay.
I'm happy being like the unk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Big homie.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be the whatever I naturally fit into is where I want to belong, and like I don't pretend to be like that's my shit. Like
Right.
like I'm not like I'm listening to new music, I'm listening to whatever, but I'm not like pretending to be 19
Right.
and like dressing the part and talking the part.
To two people
Like,
that are,
how do
us.
you do fellow kids situation?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I
Right.
love the music.
It's working for
I
us.
definitely like enjoy it and like want to hear the next new thing and be a part of it. But I'm also not like, there are certain people in the industry that like want to be 19 forever, and I don't want to do
How
that.
does Unc Alex find new music? Like, are you on TikTok? Like, how do you find, like, what's your discoverability platform?
I click through, like I'll go on iTunes or SoundCloud and click through until I find something I like.
Just bounce around.
Or like somebody, like a lot of people send me shit.
Right, sure. There.
Like the people that like Oz will send me like shit all the time. Oz is the one who connected me with Snot.
Shit.
Like he's Snot's A&R, and like that's how I linked up. He's like, I got this song. Like Snot honestly is up there with Thug to me for like favorite artists that I've ever worked with.
Oh, damn.
Are your
He
DMs
is
It's a big cosign.
He's so good. And like we had an album that came out during the pandemic, Beautiful Havoc, and it is fucking incredible, but it suffered from the fact that nobody was outside.
Right.
I think
You couldn't hear it at the fucking club. Right?
same thing with the Party Next Door album I did.
right.
Like that album, like the Believe It, the song with Rihanna,
Yeah,
begged to be heard in a club,
sure.
and there was none of that going on. And I think like
You hear that kinfolk, bro. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Shit.
Damn.
I think it's for the best that Kinfolk's gone.
Oh, really? Shit, dude. You better,
That's our
you're
spot.
talking to two fucking big time kinfolk heads, dude.
Yeah.
I think Kinfolk's like the only place in New York that I like regularly was about to fight someone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sounds like a personal problem, dog.
I'm not that's but the thing. It's the only place.
So it's a kinfolk problem.
Yeah,
is what
it's
you're
a
saying.
Kinfolk problem. It's a that
It's the
block in Brooklyn. problem.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
the only constant variable. Who are some emerging artists that you got your eye on that maybe you haven't worked with just yet, but like they've caught your
Let's
ear,
manifest
caught your
that shit,
attention?
Unc.
Shit, I'm trying to think. Because I've been like I've told you I'm working with like a legacy artist who like I'm super excited about, and I've been so consumed with that like for the last year or so I haven't really
Been locked in.
I haven't really been listening to music. But I'm just trying to think of like who I've reached out to.
Do you do a lot of
recently.
reaching out?
Yeah.
Outbound versus inbound
Like
requests.
Sofago, like I like reached out, and like I'm trying to think of who else. I reached out to A&Rs. I used to reach out to
Okay.
producers, but like producers all have developed their own team.
Right.
You know, like Metro has Ethan, and that's like if you go through Metro, Ethan's working on that song.
Got it.
Aspiring
You know what I mean?
artists now are so like plugged in that they'll hit in DMs everyone at the label.
Mhm.
Like when I worked at Def Jam for like a year and a half, and like I was getting DMs like, "Yo, I can't help you. Like I work in social media and content. I can't help you."
Yeah.
But are they so savvy enough where they're finding the engineers and the mixers and like hitting you up and
Well, he's
like,
a
"Yo,
guy.
can you put
You're
me on?"
established. I mean, you got the blue check.
But are
People know
your
you.
are your DMs just going crazy?
My names suck.
What is it? Just
Because
like,
they're
yo,
fucking a
Yo,
wasteland?
can you put this? I'll give you 0.01% of the song if you can get Thug to rap on this and put it out.
That's just all it is.
Yeah.
Have you ever discovered anyone in the DMs?
besides us.
my butt. I can't. The name escapes me because I have COVID brain.
Right.
Don't we all?
All names escape me. By the way.
Right.
Literally, like that's like I have to like I just have like a Rolodex where I'm like, oh yeah, that's that person's name. Like, thank God my girl and me have the same name. Like,
That's really.
yeah,
Damn. Alex squared.
yeah.
That's
What are you
fucking
gonna name your
cute.
kid?
Alex, what are you? Are you crazy? With a 3.
Alex
It's
Jr.
the only way to remember. It's the only way I'll know my son's name.
Alex cubed
Yeah,
or
I'm just-
daughter.
Or daughter.
Yeah, it's a,
Wait, so there was someone, but you can't remember.
my buddy had just sent me this artist, and he was like, "This person's fire," and I was like, "There's no way." And I listened. I was like, "This person's fucking fire," and that was nice. That was a DM I got, but it was a buddy. It was like something.
Okay.
I feel like I click. I'm honestly like I don't want to have people DM me
DM
more, but I do click pretty much every one.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I
wanna
don't
keep that
answer
shit at
everyone
zero,
or
dude.
accept
Inbox zero.
everyone, but even like the DM requests, like I'll look through each one because you don't want to miss the boat. You know what I mean?
No, sure.
You don't want to. So I listen to, and even when people send beats and they're like, "Hey, you do this." If the beat was that good or that different or that unique, I would do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I also have so many friends that are producers that if I was to do that, if I was to like alley-oop someone, it'd be someone that I care about.
Right. Sure. A friend and a fam.
I mean, I don't know if this question is going to necessarily land because you seem like such a positive guy and so open to like whatever's new, whatever's next, whatever's happening, whatever it was. But is there a trend in music happening right now that you wish would just fucking drop off the face of the earth?
I think
Sonically speaking.
Yeah, get on your hater shit for a second.
sonically speaking, no. I love everything sounding fucking crazy and distorted and whatever. Like I love like being like, fuck you, like this is what we do now.
Yeah.
I love it. I like fuck the old dudes, fuck the people who fuck the Grammy coalition or what the fuck ever. Fuck
So is
them.
that what you wish would stop? Was kind of like the old guard still being in power? Like the music industry is making more money than ever right now.
I think the more democratized music gets, the better. The more I think what we need is like a co-op. Like I know Zach Fox is part of it as well. There's like a co-op streaming.
Yeah, you talked about this on the pod. Yeah,
I wish I knew the fucking name
Fuck,
off the top. Again, COVID brain. No idea. No names anymore.
Shout out Zach Fox, rapper of the year.
What do you think of Zach Fox album?
I love it. I worked on it. I mixed a song. I mixed a Kenny song. And I think,
shit.
I mean, I've worked with, I did Jesus is the One too.
Oh
Like,
yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Which it's like,
I got
did
depression.
that. They sent it to me and it was the same recording from the cave.
Oh shit.
And so it was like done on a mic like this. And they were like,
What are you saying
mix
about
it in
our
the
mic,
next
bro? This is not good.
2 hours? I love mics like this, but when you have, but
Extra distortion.
but when you have the option to have like, you know,
Of course.
U87, whatever, it's nice. And also like he was performing for show. So he's like moving around and
Right,
shit.
right.
There's not, it's not on a stand, you know? So I think I had like 30, 40 minutes to mix that song. They were like, we're going to put it out.
Well,
Like,
it sounds
just so
fucking
cinematic.
great, dude.
I love that song. So he's like, why does Zach sound so dry and in your face? And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like that's what that song begged for. So like, what do you want from me?
But you think it's slaves got to rise up and tear down the masters? No more masters?
I think labels in general are what they do is going to change, and who is deciding what's cool is clearly like
It's not
the internet.
labels.
It's well, I mean, they are like they definitely like have infiltrated the viral market. Like
Yeah,
they're-
of course.
They're definitely like all virality is fake at this point.
Right.
Like,
It's paid
you know,
for.
It's all
It's all manufactured.
it's all manufactured, and like I think that's what I want to go away. I want the moments where like the memes and like what drove songs blowing up out of the middle of nowhere to be genuine again.
Right.
That was so nice.
Kill
Like,
all industry plants.
like Danny Glover blowing up
Right.
is, and I like not to bring up back one song from
No.
5 years ago, but like, or 6 years ago, whatever. That blowing up overnight is
Literally.
the most insane thing I've ever seen.
We were at Complex at the time, both of us, and like I remember being like, "What the fuck even is this?"
Yeah. But like
So
Kanye
fucking
posted
good.
it.
Yeah,
Like he was like at a
On
party going
Kanye
fucking
University
crazy. Yeah, I was like, this is insane. And it was something that we did, and it like was extremely organic, and nobody knew. It was like we all knew the song was fucking incredible, but no, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what's gonna fucking happen.
You'd like to return to that kind of Wild West where the world is the oyster for the people that have real talent, not just necessarily label power and money behind them.
And I think in a way that is still happening because that's how the label is using algorithms to find the next person that's going to blow up. And those people have, you know, the right amount of engagement naturally. And like one thing I knew about Travis back in the day that made me know I was right for sure is I would look, he only had like 200,000 followers on Twitter at the time or Instagram or something, like a smaller amount than Thug, whatever. But his engagement rate was like, he would get like 50, 60,000 likes.
Were you one of those kids, you know, like the famous like video where it's like Travis's first concert? Were you one of the kids in the concert where it's like 12 dudes just like, yeah, Travis?
So that was like the old where it's like him and Mike Dean.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit was so sick.
Never give up.
And then it was like 6 months later they show like the fucking rodeo
Fucking
tour or
afterward,
whatever.
Exactly. You've always evangelized, kind of just like spreading knowledge, educating kids on the ins and outs of like production and engineering. And I want to talk about this like project you have coming up in 2022 where you're creating an entire album on a live stream. Is this to kind of like really like literally make this as transparent as possible?
Well, I think a lot of music professionals survived off of the mystique and the magic and like not like the everything that happens behind the curtain is magic and that's it. You know what I mean? And keeping everybody like gatekeeping all the information. But like the reason I'm sitting here at all is because I thought the shit I was working on was so cool. I thought what I was doing was so cool that I literally wouldn't shut up. Like I was tweeting like 30 times a day about like
You're
cool
evangelizing.
shit that was happening. And I was like, and people responded because I think of what I do a lot of as like what happens on the Food Network.
Okay.
You know,
How so?
Go on.
Bam!
What's cool about the Food Network is how it happens. You can't taste it. Literally the final product does not matter.
Right.
Like, yeah, it might look good, but like you care about like, oh, that is cool. Like you watch like Bon Appetit and you're like, oh, like the process is what's cool.
Got it.
And I think with engineering, the end product doesn't matter when you're talking about it. Like obviously the only thing that matters in the music part is the end product, not how you got there. When you're talking about it, like when I show people that have no idea what the fuck I do, what I'm doing, they're like, that's fucking cool.
Talk about the journey to get to the destination.
Yes. Like the song, like when it comes to the final product, it doesn't matter if you recorded it at home, whatever makes the final product cool.
Whatever.
Yeah. But in the process of like making people care about it, the process is super important.
I don't know if this is what you're going to necessarily be streaming, but I will say like the limited time I spent in the studio, it is almost mesmerizing to see the engineer. And maybe it was because I was in like a room with like, you know, a bunch of like young guys and like studio hoes, just like drugs and alcohol and everything. And then this one old guy with a ponytail.
Of course, a ponytail.
Yeah,
Exactly.
always, right?
And he's wearing
signature
like,
of an engineer.
He's wearing some fucking like, you know, roadie merch from like some
like
87 tour.
Shirt.
Right.
And the rapper's just like, yo, run that back. Oh, let me hear this, let me hear that, let me hear that. And the guy's like, without even saying anything, just like clicking around and like moving the most infinitesimal fucking fractions of a sound around. Like it's crazy to watch someone like do that. It is like cooking almost.
Yeah. Well, I think
like chefing up.
There are parts of the process that no one even knows. My parents have no idea what I do. I've explained it to them multiple times, and they just don't like.
Welcome to the life of a professional podcaster, dog.
Well, somebody was talking about there's like an interesting podcast would be like getting two parents in the room and having them explain what their kid does.
1,000%. That should be your podcast.
And if my parents did that, they would just be yelling at each other and both 100% wrong.
Right.
They would have hit, like, and I mean, they've tried, they've looked into it, they watched like, my other interviews and stuff, and they're
proud of their son.
They're proud. You know, they have I've never seen my Grammy.
They've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
Because they have it.
I had it mailed to their house, and I don't go to Florida because I hate it there.
Okay.
So they always, when I see them, I fly them here. We meet in LA where my brother lives, or like.
Do they have it prominently displayed?
I think so.
What was the Grammys for? Oh, This Is America.
This Is America.
I mean, Kanye is the most influential musical giant of our time. No denying that. Have you pissed in your Grammy?
No,
he hasn't even seen it. How's he going to piss on it?
Will you piss in your Grammy?
I don't think I'd piss in it. I'm extremely proud of getting it, and like my part in This Is America was small. I was there in the studio with Donald for a few weeks, and I helped him put the song together. I recorded a few parts, and I did a lot of like arrangement stuff and like moving stuff around and like rough mixing.
Did you record the Thuggers part on like the outro? No, okay.
No, that was done after I was even a part of it. But my part was I put a lot of work into it, and I was like, please credit me as an engineer. I would love, like, this song's gonna be huge, whatever. They did, and then
is that a hard ask to like, or do you ask a lot of people that, or is it only in like certain instances?
I think as an engineer, it's hard to get credit in general, so I'm always making sure that
you're making sure.
Yeah, they were not going to credit me,
right.
But yeah, I mean, like
double checking.
Yeah, I mean, and also like when you're working in rap, again, the Grammys suck if you work in
I
rap.
mean, Drake just pulled his name from the fucking ballots, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, the Grammys, they
They're a
don't
joke.
they don't get it.
They suck.
They don't get it. There's a lot of like, you know, party. You throw a party so that they know who you are, so that they vote for you because that's all they know.
Right.
It's like they're not like listening or like they're not. I mean,
There's like 5 rappers that the Grammys acknowledges.
the fact that Savage Mode never got a Grammy is just whatever.
He's got it with Cole, right?
Yeah, he got it with Cole.
Yeah.
But Savage, I mean, to me, Savage Mode 1 was another one of the things I did where it was like a pivotal, sonically crazy, but also like a pivotal moment in like music rap change after that. And that year it was a very large project. People loved it and got no love at all. And I was like, fuck this.
I'm sure some
Well, they
bullshit
clearly
won.
don't get it. We're all team fuck Grammys, but was your French bulldog Gordy upset when his Grammy nomination when he did not win the Grammy?
Yeah, he was devastated.
He's absolutely
He's still
Is that why
devastated.
he has
here?
never gotten over
Yeah.
it.
He stopped working in music after that.
Yeah, he quit.
Technically,
game, dog.
Technically, that was his last credit.
Damn.
Well,
Shout
you're
out
a
Gordy.
fucking Grammy winning engineer. You are very skilled at what you do. The question, though, Alex, are you skilled enough in engineering to make Lawrence's singing voice palpable? Lawrence,
Hustlers don't stop. They keep going.
Okay, wait. We can.
You could lose your life, but it gon' keep going.
Well, now your cadence is off.
Okay, if I tried.
I felt like we had it.
Oh, then
I
I
felt like
lost
we
it?
had it, and then you
Well,
lost it.
run it back. Let's
Yeah.
clip it out.
Well, what we can do
Yeah.
is you guys come back because like my recording setup's not up, and all we gotta do is hook a mic up and really try.
Okay. I will say, when you die, someone else was born is maybe the most profound line
He has
that I've ever heard in music, and that's
he has
that's
many
tough.
lines where I will stop and be like, "Do you know what you just said? Do
Yeah.
you know how deep that is?
Yeah, right.
Do you know how fucked
Do you think
I
he's gonna
am
one
for
day-
a week now thinking about this?"
He needs to be our poet
Yeah.
laureate, bro.
Yeah, he should get a fucking
He should,
Peabody, a
100%.
Pulitzer.
I mean, stream of consciousness is a very legitimate style of poetry,
yeah,
and that's what he does. And like he is
a
literally
lucid genius.
he is literally just saying how he feels. It's very emotional. That I mean, Future's the same way.
Yes.
You listen to a Future song and you're like, damn, this is a banger. And also, I need to go to therapy. Like,
What
That-
am I supposed to do when these racks is blue?
I was fucking on a bitch, but I was thinking about you. Shout out Future, dude.
look, man, everything they say is a derivative of pain. You know what I mean?
Right.
In some way or another, whether covering it up with
Hashtag
money.
pain.
There is a level of pain that these dudes have gone through that is insurmountable.
Right.
And this is their
That is
therapy.
unfathomable for
Yeah.
people like
For
us.
most people,
sitting
which
in
is
this
why
room.
most people just listen to it like it's a banger and
Right.
move on. But like the people who care are like, whoa.
Right.
Like this is a lot.
This man's put his
You know,
life
honestly,
on the
that
wax.
was profound, Alex, and thank you.
Do you have a
tried.
dream artist that you want to work with one day?
I used to, and I like
You check
Frank-
that box.
I checked most of the boxes except for Frank Ocean.
Oh,
but I don't think that'll
speaking
ever
of an
I don't think
independent
that'll
guy
ever
who's
happen.
outside the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll ever. I've met him. He came to the studio once. We hung out. We listened to a never released project.
How was it?
A full
It was
project.
awesome. A project that I
Got
Oh, not his.
Sorry.
Because I heard he's apparently he's shopping a record as we speak.
I believe it. I mean, he's here somewhere. I've run into him once or twice.
You're not like fucking stalking around a little canal, just waiting for him to pop up.
But you've never done a session with him. You're
I mean,
just like,
he's
chilled.
got his team,
right.
and like I'm friends with like Vegan and a few of the other people on his team. Caleb.
But that's
Frank's
another.
on there.
But
What
just trying to manifest that. Frank would be the guy.
I just don't think it'll. I
What
would
about
love
throughout?
to have
What about throughout history? Dream artist to work with Beatles.
throughout? I feel like, you know, you have like the originators, like someone like Ray Charles would be fucking crazy.
Sure.
Mostly just because I feel like I'd be completely outclassed and like have no business being there, and that'd be nice.
Would you be on like Ray Charles era technology, or would you be on 2021?
Ray
era
Charles with
technology?
auto-tune.
Yeah, that would be actually fucking.
That'd be
I'm sure
so
someone
sick.
could listen. If anyone at home wants to fucking mock that up,
Yeah,
put it on
exactly.
YouTube.
I mean, I feel like technology has inarguably gotten better, and it's not like we can't use tape and we can't go back. Like,
Right.
you can see all my analog gear. I have it. I use it. But like the new shit's cooler.
better.
It's cooler. You can do cooler shit. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, limitations forced the musicians to not fuck up and
Sure.
be like,
Creativity through
Yeah.
constraint.
right.
I mean, Ray Charles was great, beautiful singing voice, one of the goats. But right, auto tune would make it better.
Auto-tune
It's that
make it-
simple.
You're a very positive guy, but we got to ask, bro, who's the most difficult artist to work with?
I'm trying to think. Difficult. I think the most demanding artist is Travis.
Oh, yeah.
I think
As like a perfectionist?
he's a perfectionist, but it's also like an immediate level of perfection. He's like, let's make this sound like the final product in this moment.
There's no...
Also like when we were working on Rodeo, like Alan Ritter would be playing the keys
Right.
to something like 90210 or Oh My This Side while Travis is recording his lead, and it's all in one take.
Right.
And it's all live. And it's all got to be right in the moment. And I'm just freaking out, like turning knobs, like trying to make sure everything sounds right.
Yeah.
And like that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I would say
like
like
drafts. It's one and done.
I mean, there is a draft, but like what is being a lot of
The fidelity of that draft is supposed to be at a higher level.
right. And also like we're not replacing a lot of it. Like the keys are staying. You know what I mean, we might time them out. We might like make edits and stuff, but that was staying. And like the amount of things that we had to do in the moment, given like we were in a house that they rented and we're built a whole studio in it to record in. There was an existing studio, but we added a bunch. Like Metro added like his key. There was a like a laptop setup that went into Pro Tools, and there was a bunch of keyboards and there was a mic, and it was all in record just constantly. And then when the idea got good, we had to like tempo map everything and make sure it was all in the right key, everything was right, and like it was very. I was very on edge for.
Can imagine a lot of pressure,
bro.
Yeah. Is he
a lot of spinning plates?
In terms of like rappers, is he one of the most or the most studio proficient guy that you've worked with? Because he produces stuff. He clearly like he knows what's happening. Like, he knows the shit.
Part of the
his way around the
part
boards.
of the hard part about working with him is he knows.
Yeah.
So if something's not working, he's like
it.
I could do this.
Yeah. Right.
You know. So it's like that's an added level of stress. Yeah. I mean, Thug's gotten to that point too. Thug can engineer.
Are there
himself.
any artists that you know of that mix their own shit?
Yeah.
Like Kanye? Kanye mix his own shit?
I think Noah and Mike do
Okay.
most of it. And I think Jess Jackson also did some. But Noah Goldstein, who's like
right, yeah, no,
like
total legend.
Engineer. Yeah.
Like there's guys who know how, but like does anyone actually do it?
Like
a
they
few
do,
artists
but then-
I work with do engineer themselves. Like I know Russ engineers himself.
Okay. That's because no one wants to work with them.
But
no, I'm kidding.
But but I know he's even
no, I'm not.
Even he's hired like
Yeah.
Jason Joshua to mix a lot of his stuff in the last.
Does the artist like
years.
mix it and then like they leave the room and then like somebody comes over?
It's like actually let's.
I think I mean that happens a lot. I think that happens more often than not. Where the artist
Great
is
job.
Like, let's do this.
Play some pool. Play some
Yeah.
pool.
But there are definitely artists that like
It's okay. I was just wondering because it's
I got one.
Okay.
I just need to think of the name because again,
COVID brain.
COVID brain.
Zach Fox.
COVID name brain.
But a lot of dudes record themselves. Like I know Saw Baby records himself.
Yo, fucking shout out Saw Baby. Great project, which of 2021. In my opinion.
Amazing.
Do it for
I mean, he's one of my favorite artists I ever worked with also, and like him.
What have you?
T3, his brother is a great producer, artist in his own right.
Have you engineered anything on Barnacles?
No, I remixed Sandus.
Oh,
so after it dropped, the label was like, let's try and like polish it up, and I
Marsupial Superstar.
That's the only one I didn't do on that.
No,
I know. I
That's
know.
the fucking.
I fucking know.
Yeah, fuck.
I know. I was
We saw
heartbroken.
Marsupial.
I was heartbroken, but I also like it's one of those things. Is FOMO. Like I'm not one of those people who's like I could have done that fucking better. Whatever, dude. Like if that's what you wanted, that's what comes out. But also, I would have loved the chance to have worked on it.
Just get hands on with that shit.
Yeah. I mean, we're at the top of 2022. We just wrapped up 2021. Do you have any predictions of like where music is going to maybe go this year?
I mean, I said it. Donald asked me this when we were working on This Is America. He's like, where do you think music's going? I think it was like a test of some sort. Because he's like a fucking, like very thoughtful person. Like everything he does is so well thought out. And I was like, I think everything's going to get angrier. And he's like, what do you mean? Like angry at politics, whatever, political. Like
I mean, that's an angry song in and of itself, right?
But I don't think, that's a very politically driven, angry. It has a message. I don't think that we're going in the direction of messages. And I think like XXX and like those kind of artists and like young artists and Playboi Carti, like there's like a rage element there. Travis even there's a rage element, aggressive element, but it's not directed at anything. It's not. It's very much like there's so much to be angry about that. How dare you pick something?
Right.
Like literally like.
Who are you to choose?
Yeah, how could you even choose what you're? Especially like the last few years, like every day there was something like to be that
appalled by
that would have been news for a year.
Yeah.
Every single day there was something that would have been news for a year for the last few years, and like I can't imagine anybody just being like, "Oh, let me write about that."
So so you think aggression will continue?
I think
dominate?
sonically,
Neggy vibes only.
Yeah. I think sonically you have like very aggressive like styles of music, like very up tempo, very like the 808s are distorted, the drums are distorted. There's heavier guitars. There's fucking like distorted synths, whatever. Like the music has definitely moved to more up tempo. Like we were talking about like 70 BPM for like most of the 2010s, and now we're in like the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean? Or like I guess 160 to 180, whatever. And I think obviously like the tone of the vocal tone, like you have someone like Rico Nasty who's like,
oh, so good,
fucking incredible.
Yeah,
love her, but like she's got
it's grating
so much anger and so much like aggression, and you're just like, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
that's it. That's
aggression
like,
towards Cardi fans who are aggressive themselves.
Sheesh. Yeah. I feel so bad.
That's a bummer, dude, because she fucking rocks.
Well, and like, no, I'm sure like Cardi doesn't want that. Like Cardi wants.
Of course not. Well, he didn't say shit about it, so. But I guess that's Cardi.
That's his thing.
He doesn't fucking. He doesn't care.
I feel like apathy's.
He is the physical embodiment of apathy.
Yeah. Let's zoom out for a second and ask you a very hard question.
There you go, baby.
Alex Tumay. Top 5 dead or alive.
In anything?
Oh, fucking hip hop, bro.
Oh.
The only genre that matters.
I really wanted to do like of just anything ever.
Do you want to do that? You want to do that first?
Trolleys.
This is your episode, bro.
Gummies, dude.
Yeah, just list like people, gummies,
gibbets.
My favorite dinosaur.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
Ankylosaurus, probably.
The fuck is that?
It's the one with the like shellback and like the
the club
spiky
tail.
It's
like a big ass turtle.
Yeah,
with a club tail.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, top 5 dead or alive rappers.
Okay,
and then we'll do top 5 dead or alive concepts and things.
So like I came up in like the backpack era, and like Lupe is in there.
What do you think of what did Kanye say recently that he like faked being a backpack rapper because he knew that was just like it would get him like into rooms and shit because it was what like labels were into.
You said on Drink Champs, or
I think like maybe Drink Champs 2 Part 2, which no one watched.
I feel like I feel like Kanye was always like in 1 foot in, 1 foot out of backpack.
Yeah, well, I mean, anyway. He was working with Black Star and like and Talib, so like I feel like he was definitely not capping about being his adjacency to backpack. But if he said it, he said it. I guess I don't know.
All right, so Lupe,
Thug, obviously.
Okay,
Thug.
Lupe, Thug. This is unranked. Are we ranking these?
No,
I'm just top 5.
So it's a Mount Rushmore.
If I have to pick a number 1, it's Thug.
Okay,
straight up.
So that's it's Thug and everybody else.
I think for me, I vowed to never work with just one artist when I started working in music, and only someone like him would have broken that. Right. You know what I mean?
I always eat your words.
Yeah.
Lupe,
Thug. I think.
Do you have a favorite Thug song? I'm just very curious. Is it Danny Glover because of?
It might be Halftime.
Oh shit! Fucking.
It might be Halftime, and it might be some like the more unreleased stuff. But there's
you've heard it all.
Yeah. There's one that like a B-side from Punk that I actually worked on that didn't make it,
and that's
that I love.
Smacker.
Love it. It's like so it shows all his growth, and it's fucking beautiful.
We'll make the outro music of this episode.
Yeah. Right. I'll make the call. And get told no.
Yeah. All right, so we got 2. We're almost there. We're 40%
Jay-Z.
there.
Jay-Z. Okay. Jigga Man.
I mean, Kanye made my favorite album of all time,
which is
Yeezus.
Oh, fuck yes, dude. We are on record.
As an engineer, that album must be fucking
right. And then like
that must have blown your dick off.
The production,
it's insane.
Like you have Arca,
right,
and you have Mike Dean, and you have like all the people in like
Daft Punk,
good.
Travis,
so fucking good.
That is our favorite. That is the intelligent galaxy brain thinking man's best Kanye record. We've said that. You agree? Case closed.
It changed my life. It changed
your
really.
Jesus changed your
I
life.
was in DARP. There's like I just started there. It came out and I put it on. There are very few albums I've ever listened to where I put it on and like remember that moment.
Because your dick is being blown clean off.
Yeah.
I put it on the lounge speakers at the studio and
on
it's
site, dude.
And it stayed on days.
So good.
Stayed on days. And every time somebody turned it off, I was like, turn it back on.
Yeah.
Did
it's that good.
In your mind, did it trip a wire where it's like, oh, this is where music is going to go now, or this rap is going to go, where it's like industrial, kind of raggedy, like rusty, like sharp, hard,
angry.
Beats?
The wire it tripped mostly is, I wish I could have worked on that.
Yeah,
that's about it. like everything else was not like, I was just like, I wanted to be in the room.
Transfixed.
I wanted to be in the fucking room when they were doing it. I don't want to work on it. I didn't want to credit. I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to be in the fucking room,
Right.
just to see how it happened. That's what there's very few albums from like, how did that happen?
Well, then there's been a lot of like, well, not a ton. Caramonica's written about it, but like when you hear about how that came together so fast, and then Rick Rubin's involvement, is it surprising or like, or does it make sense to you?
No,
that
it feels
haphazard
it feels frantic.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I mean, it's just a masterpiece. It really is, and it's short. It's fucking
lean and mean, dude.
It's great.
It's leanest and meanest.
Holds up still.
So
Yeah.
Kanye.
So does
Jay.
he enter the top 5 just because he made your favorite album of all time?
I think so. I think he
Okay,
has
okay.
to.
So
I
we have
really think
4.
he has to.
So we have the
You got one more.
Throne.
And then can I make
Lupe,
Outkast one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I think if and this is like controversial, I'd put Big Boy above Andre.
I mean, he's got more output.
He's done more Throwing Fits episodes.
Yeah, he's done more podcasts with us specifically.
For me, Big Boy, like especially like formative years, like Speaker Box was in my CD player.
Making love to the love below.
Yeah.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
You like the
Not me.
way she moved.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have one more then? Because
that was 5.
No, that's 5. Lupe, Thug, Ye, Jay, Outkast.
All right. Very
Yeah.
solid.
I mean, and like obviously I can go farther back in time, but we're talking about for me.
Yeah.
And like
This is your personal top 5.
it's
This is-
personal
You don't
and
have
like
to
also
justify
like
shit.
things that happened in my formative
You can say
years. And like
Asher
a lot
Roth,
of
bro. It's your top 5.
a lot of them fit like that 15 to like
Yeah.
25 gap where like you form all your opinions.
Right. No Wayne, which I'm surprised.
I was late to the Wayne train.
Oh, really?
I was late.
Wayne train.
I was late.
What was the first Carter that you listened to?
3.
Oh,
But
damn.
it was late. I was late.
Carter 2.
What rapper do you think has the best style?
Who?
Style. Controversial opinion.
Okay.
Gunna.
Oh,
No,
well,
bro,
not-
no, we
dude,
agree. We in this
Mr.
in this house,
Motherfucking put it on.
Anybody who says
2021.
Gunna is dressed like who doesn't like these recent outfits, I'm like, you're so fucking wrong.
What
He's
is
a fucking
What
artist.
does
the
Thug
short
think of-
shorts?
Yeah,
fucking amazing.
What does Thug think of Gunna's fits recently?
I haven't had that conversation. I mean, he
He's
has to
obviously
respect it. He
influenced,
has
of
to
course.
respect. He has to.
You have to respect Gunna's
He has to
fits.
respect it.
I mean, Gunna is clearly like you talk about like the
He's the Fitbit
generational,
king.
generational influence. Like Gunna's drip came from Thug.
Yeah,
Right.
it's definitely. I mean,
It was bequeathed. The drip was bequeathed.
Yeah,
Gunna has always been
it's hereditary.
like one of the nicest people ever.
Yo,
That's
how do
what
we get him,
people
how do we
say.
get him on the podcast?
Eb, his manager.
Okay, I've been
I'll
talking
connect
to
you.
A's. How do you say it?
Oz.
300.
Oz.
Talking to
Nice.
Oz.
We're talking to Oz.
I'm talking to Oz about trying to get Gunna on the pod, but it's Eb. All right.
Yeah, it's probably Eb.
Okay. Got to hit Eb.
We
Eb,
need
if
to
you're
get.
listening.
We need Gunna.
Eb is one of my favorite people. Shout out Eb.
We need Gunna on the pod to only talk about Johns. We won't mention music once.
I mean, I
That'd be
literally
sick.
was tweeting out like, "Yo, Gunna fit of the year," and then it was the fit that Rihanna then like dressed up as
Amazing.
for Halloween.
He killed it. He shut down the fucking TL with every fucking Fitbit. That
And
man
he
is
still
a fucking
continues to do so.
savant.
The question, though, that kind of surrounds all this, you know, we love the posy and the neggy, where it's the duality. Man, why do most rappers dress like fucking shit?
I think it's a. I went to the store and I bought all the stuff I liked.
The mannequin. Or like, yeah.
Or I bought. I saw a bunch of stuff I liked and I bought it and I'm wearing it all because
Right.
I didn't have this before.
Right.
Right.
And
I
it's
believe that's called new money.
well, it's like almost like hoarding, but for like fire shit. You
Yeah.
know. And I feel like there's no need to edit yourself when you can buy it all.
It's maximalism at its finest.
Yeah.
And I respect that because if I was rich, I would be doing the same shit.
Exactly.
You know?
And in
So it's
general,
easy for us to fucking
in general, a
armchair
lot of
everything.
rappers dress like rich old white dudes trying to be
Yeah.
young. You know what I mean?
Plus some Mira jeans.
Yeah.
Here's a question, personal, very incisive question. I did my research. Do you still eat raw eggs?
Fuck you. I did it one time as like a bit on Kenny's stream because I was like, I'll eat a fucking raw egg in his chat.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you'll never be on my stream. We'll never work again until you eat a raw egg.
Damn.
And I was like,
Shoot out
fuck
the
you.
gauntlet.
I'm not going to do it. It was a joke. And then I did it.
How was it?
It's fine. It's fucking an egg. It's nothing. It's literally not, it barely tastes like anything.
Damn, it's crazy that that's all people say about you now. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
you're
all-
a
it's
slut
all
for
we
raw
think.
That's
eggs.
literally it's
weird,
Alex
dude.
Tumay. Google suggested searches.
It's
Alex Tumay, Young
eggs.
Thug, Alex Tumay, raw eggs.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, your algo is fucked.
Don't worry, because we're going to switch up the algo by
Yeah.
entering the next section of the podcast, which is Meats and Cheeks, formerly known as that ass.
And sucking and fucking.
Exactly.
Nice.
So you've been in the studio, right?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, you've been in like some actual sessions
Of course,
and shit.
bro.
We've all been there. Does the music come out better when rappers who are recording have groupies in the studio?
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? It doesn't detract or distract.
Rap is a performative art in general.
You said it, brother.
It's
So,
you're trying to impress as well, right?
right. You're flexing, and like in general, there's the element of flexing, there's the element of pain, there's the element of being open and whatever. And like a little bit of the openness comes out more when they're by themselves and bored.
Yeah, right.
But in general, like a bored rapper is not making good music.
So if you're kind of curating the studio vibe and an artist comes in and he's got no hose, do you have like hose on speed dial or just like, yo, come through?
Is there a service?
No, I'm just disappointed.
It's just a bummer.
Like I just don't.
Vibes killed.
I feel like there are rappers who like come to the studio without women, and that's part of their
Like
their
Thug
process.
recording in the dark is one mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No
like,
homo.
well, Thug's very private about like how he records. Like he's
Shit.
he's
It's
either
like proprietary.
he's
in
either
that?
now he sits at the desk with you. Like the mic is right
Oh,
there.
it's like him. It's like
Word?
that, bro. It's like that meme where they're fucking staring.
Oh,
at the
yeah,
computer.
yeah. Were
Yeah,
you in the
he-
studio when he was with Dirk doing that?
No.
Okay.
No.
What do you what was happening? Do you know what was happening?
So Thug can edit. He can use Pro Tools. He knows how to engineer to an extent. And definitely knows how to get himself sounding the right way.
Right. You learn from the best.
Oh no. I would never. That came after me
Okay.
of people being like, fuck it, you do it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like-
because no one could live up to you nailing it, right?
Well, I think there was
To some
like
degree.
there was an era where he was like, okay, nudge it this way, nudge it that way. And he was like telling people they were wrong. And like, obviously they probably think they're doing it right. And eventually, and then now with Baines, like now that him and Baines have linked up, there's like I think Thug has his own keyboard and mouse next to Baines.
it's like when you go to driving school,
Yeah.
there's two steering
Does
wheels
Baines
and two
have-
sets of pedals,
Baines has
right?
the emergency
Literally like
brake.
that. And he's learning. He's watching Baines, and Baines is also
Right.
like a great teacher. And like Baines is like, I think James Blake called him the fastest person on Pro Tools.
Damn.
Like something along the lines of that.
The
Baines
Mozart of Pro
is a
Tools.
fucking, like I said, a workhorse. He's fucking incredible.
But in that picture, you would presume that Thug is showing Lil Durk how to fucking.
He's probably just playing music, but people always like, infer.
What's
There's an image of me and Thug where Thug's on the computer, and like
How come that didn't become a meme?
it did for a little bit.
Oh, it did. Okay.
It's part of like the series of
I hope,
when
I
people
hope you
post all
got
of
credited. It seemed like when you were talking about the picture where he's like feeding the line or whatever that you weren't getting the proper
Oh
credit.
no, yeah. I mean, I tweeted it, so it was like,
Oh.
it was just,
With a watermark.
yeah.
what's proper groupie studio etiquette? Is it kind of the similar as like what we were talking about before, where it's like don't speak unless spoken to, like know your lane a little bit.
I think
How
not as a
misogynistic.
misogyny thing, as a fucking newbie. You're not the main
I
character.
think
We're
in
working
general, you
here.
just don't fuck with the flow of the room. Like whatever it is, like there's been sessions where like the girls have gotten up and like gotten on the mic and like made music and like
How does that usually turn out?
fine. I mean,
Okay.
it's, at that point, like it's all for fun, you know?
Right.
Is it,
I-
are they a
which is nice.
barometer though?
You're like, I'm getting paid anyway, so fuck it.
Are they a barometer where like if they're like, yo, like I fuck with this, or they start like, I don't know, like getting up and dancing and shit? They're like, oh, we actually have a fucking banger on our hands right now.
I think if anybody's moving, you know, if the engineer's nodding his head at all, you got something.
Well,
Because like I'm
barometer.
like, if there's videos of me where I'm just like
right.
a robot,
Just
and
a
then there's
statue.
videos of me where I'm like, fuck, what the fuck, this is crazy. Like you just know.
Hypothetically speaking, just generally, what is the studio hose runoff situation like for an engineer?
Non-existent.
Non-existent.
I become friends with some of the girls in the studio. Like
Right.
that was like the extent of
Studio
it.
women,
Yeah, studio ladies.
ladies of the stew.
Yeah.
Sultans of the stew. No, sirens of the stew.
Yeah.
There
But
you
I've
go.
always been like I'm just nice, I guess. I don't know. Like I just never partook.
Right.
Also, like I think like as an
You're working.
as an ego thing, I never want to like I would never like tell a girl I was on a date with. I'd be like, I work with a Young Thug. That sucks.
You
dude.
never pulled that card
No.
ever.
No, I mean if you knew ahead of time, I would talk about it. But like
Has that happened to you where like people of like girls would hit you up to like because of your adjacency and like your public kind of persona?
I think I got a chance more than I would have otherwise.
Well, I would say absolutely, yeah.
You know, like whereas
'Cause you
if
know
I
what the
if I reached out to a girl and she looked at my IG page,
right. Yeah.
Which
like-
she's 100% doing because that's just standard operating procedure at this
Yeah.
point.
So
I-
it speaks for itself.
my girl didn't really know much.
Really?
We first started
Did you
dating.
like that?
Yeah, was that
Well, she didn't
preferable?
like me at first. So.
She didn't even like you.
Does she like you now?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we,
That was a close
we
one.
worked up to it.
It's a
Baby
slow
steps,
burn.
baby steps. Well, you are all about transparency and kind of like breaking down the walls when it comes to process, when it comes to like secrets of the industry. Let's talk about something that people don't like to talk about. What makes the world go round, Lawrence?
Money.
Oh yeah,
Alex, how much money do you make?
not a lot.
What's the most you've ever won in a single game of poker?
Cash game,
Sure.
Sure.
cash game, 14,000.
Woo!
What's the most you've ever
God
lost?
damn.
The most I lost in a night is 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty light work.
Not terrible.
I mean, it was like right after I won the bunch of money, so I was.
So you saw
In
won a little
one
less.
door, out the other.
But in a tournament, I walked out with 40.
God.
1,000.
Wait, so what's
Fuck yeah. But that wasn't a cash game.
No, I bought into like a $150 tournament and got second place, something like that online.
Shit, you're nice with it.
Yeah.
Are you like a crazy math percentages guy or like? Are you
Well, so poker in general is like obviously like the idea of what people think of when they think of poker is completely different than how poker plays now.
rounders, baby?
Like that's how I got into it. It was like
Right.
rounders, like
Oh,
that kind of era.
7-2?
But like the idea of like, oh, I'm gonna fucking bluff this guy by
Right.
getting into his brain and fucking with his life and whatever. Like people do that. There are definitely like old guys who do that, but like poker's a solved game.
Yeah.
There are online solvers where you could put in your cards, somebody else's cards, the flop, turn, river, and it'll tell you the right move,
right?
what percentage of the time. And like there's
Like a
obviously
decision tree.
right. And like so there's like, oh, you should do this 60% of the time, you should do this 20% of the time, you should do this 10% of the time, this 5, whatever.
And your COVID brain can fucking absorb that?
Well, no, there's too much for everybody to know every option, but like I've studied a good bit of it, and I've like taken like online classes and shit.
Oh,
like that.
shit.
Because
You're
like
committed to the
when I
art.
got into it, it was very much like there was like trends, like and like the 3-bet was a new thing. It was actually thought like if someone
I don't even know what that
raises,
is.
so if someone raises and you raise them back, or
Yeah.
sorry, if the check raise, so
Uh-huh.
if you check, they bet, like trying to trap them,
Mhm.
and then you raise. In like the 60s, that was thought of as bad etiquette.
Really?
That was like back in the day in poker, like
Damn,
if you did that to
fucking
somebody, back, what a
bozos.
dick.
Right.
Like if that's like how you win money. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
It's because of the Beatles, bro. It's their influence.
yeah, it's definitely.
Here's a
thing.
$1 million question, no pun intended. What is something that poker and rap have in common?
I think sitting at a poker table with a bunch of strangers and not trying to get them to like you is like,
It's like being in the studio.
yeah.
Do you need to be liked at the poker table
I think it helps. I think
with actually winning?
Giving you a psychological advantage?
taking money from bad players, you want them to be happy to lose.
okay.
So there was like this era where
you want
like
to get your arm
young
broke.
kids were getting into poker and they were berating the old men at the table for being bad at poker when they would get unlucky. But you have to understand, like you get lucky, you get unlucky less than you win when you should win,
Right.
right? So you want to congratulate the guy who just got a 1 in 1,000 chance to beat
Sure.
you, so that the other
Don't take
909,
it personally.
yeah, the other 999, he's super fucking chill about
Interesting.
losing money.
All
I want
right.
to scrap
Look
at the
that.
table.
Real fucking gems tonight.
Besides
folks.
buying into poker tournaments, what do you like to spend your money on? And also very tasteful, understated clothing. What else do you like to spend your money on?
That's
Clothes and
What
poker.
about game? You're a big gamer now, you said.
yeah, I do. I have like this is my streaming computer, but it's like I put all the stuff into it so I could play games at work.
Are you a big
Sick.
foodie? You talked about how like you could sometimes you had to like have a foodie conversation.
Yeah, I love eating like good food, and like I care about the food that I eat, and like obviously like living in New York, there's
Right.
so much to fucking eat and so many places to go, and I also have like a hella dietary restrictions, so like I'm very picky about like
What
the-
raw eggs you consume, etc.
yeah, except yeah,
Except that. Yeah.
only farm
Only
raised,
fucking
free range.
salmonella
Was that-
exclusively.
Was that terrible then when you were like at this fucking studio and
Yeah.
kind of at the like you were beholden to whatever
think-
like the rappers decided to order?
Lemon pepper wings.
Until very
gummies.
recently, I just ate
lobsters.
whatever. Until
Yeah.
like a few years ago, really COVID, when we were in quarantine, I was like, maybe I should figure out why I feel like shit all the time.
And it was really dietary.
And for the most part, yeah, dietary, and I'm sure like obviously like a bunch of other mental shit from
Yeah.
I gotta, stop,
existing in 2020.
I gotta stop eating my cereal with Bang energy drink, bro.
yeah, Exactly. I mean, I think at one point I was drinking like we had free Red Bull at the studio, like 4 of them.
Oh, your
a day,
heart must
5.
have had crazy heart palpitations.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
shit.
still to this day. But like, yeah, I'm off any soda. Like I'm on coffee and water, but like, I think so. I'm kidding. I thought I was gluten intolerant. I thought I was lactose intolerant, but I'm starting to think that it's just fructose.
Okay.
Literally just
sugar,
just that type of sugar.
Yeah.
And I cut that out, and like I'll immediately feel better, and like it
Sure.
I sleep better. Like when I eat the right foods, I sleep. I wake up earlier.
Yeah. Got to treat the
Rest-
body
You know
like a
what you're doing?
machine, baby.
You're bioengineering
Right.
yourself.
I'm trying to figure out how to live past 35, which is what I am.
You're twisting your own knobs with your nipples.
Final question in this segment. What is the retainer like when you're on call for a guy like Thug 24/7?
Back in the day,
Sure.
I was doing it because I loved it.
Pro bono?
What? For the love of the game?
I mean, I was paid when
fool.
And a
when I
fucking
was
YSL
working,
wallet?
when I was working.
Oh, like by the hour?
Yeah. But like back in the day, like I was very much like, we'll figure out the money later.
Let's work.
Let's fucking do this.
Was there a point where you're like, okay, because this happens to a lot of people where it is, and a lot of creatives where it's like, oh, I don't want to have that. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like, oh, I don't want to have the money conversation. Let's get to work. Let's make the thing. But then later on, you're like, oh, fuck, I wish we'd actually
Gotta
had
pay
this
my
like
rent.
terrible but necessary conversation and been like explicit with it. Was there a moment where you're like, damn, I need to like get my finances and like take care of that side of
I'm
things?
still figuring that out. I have a manager, I have an
perfect.
accountant and all that. And
They have the dirty conversations for you.
they do that now. And like, there's like people like YSL is always family to me. Like I deal with them directly, and I'm like, you guys get the family price and like whatever, because like we're not in this room without them. Like,
Right.
And I'm not disillusioned to that. I'm an element of why people like that stuff, but I'm a small element. Like I always say, like there's people that are like, engineer's the most important thing in the room, and it's like, no, it's 40-40-20 at best. Probably 45-45-10. Artist, producer, engineer.
Right.
Yeah.
Like but 10's a huge percent.
Yeah.
Compared to what engineers are paid.
That's a 10th.
You don't want
Yeah.
to put out a 90% done project, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You need that. It's that final 10%, though. That's
That
very
makes it feel
important.
like anything.
There
for
it
sure.
is.
And also like, along the way they're influencing the sound in little
Of
ways.
course.
And
Your
Yeah.
fingerprints are all over YSL. Well, Alex, thank you for coming on to the only podcast that matters. Before we get out of your studio and before we go into the bonus content that I forgot to mention. So
yeah, we need
That-
another
that's still
15, by
coming.
the way.
we want to offer up some constructive criticism as fans, as friends,
hell yeah.
right? As outsider perspective, maybe you can like take it and implement it into your daily, weekly, monthly regimen. First up, because again, we just want to see you thrive even more so.
Mhm.
I'll go first. First up, first piece of constructive criticism. Help us get Thug on the podcast.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Okay. That was
You want to
easy.
text? You want to text him right now?
Has
You
Young
wanna-
Thug
you already
ever done a
text him?
podcast?
I don't think so. He doesn't like
He-
interviews.
He has done.
Oh, you're right. That's right.
No, he did.
Put it on the blogs, big guy.
I used to be in the room with him for his interviews, and he'd be like, ask Alex. And I'm like, that's not why they're here.
He did the TI podcast. So if I tilt my cap like this, will he come on the pod?
More.
You got to go. Yeah, dude. You got to defy the gravitation.
More.
If you FaceTimed him right now, would he pick up?
More.
Bro, I don't know.
Can you even?
Yo, I can't even see. This ear's completely covered.
Damn, T.I. Oh, that's right.
A Day
T.I.
in the
does have a
Life.
podcast.
Yeah.
A day in the
What's
life.
it called? Like,
I know. I just remember he got in trouble for saying some fucking out of pocket shit.
very much so.
Have you, Alex? Here's my piece of constructive criticism. Have you thought about offering up other credits for other people's, maybe civilians' dogs, so that some of our furry friends could also get Grammys and also get fucking platinum plaques?
I
would love for Pepper, my
Okay.
dog, to get a Grammy. And I need you to make that happen.
I have to talk to my assistants.
You gotta talk to Gordy.
Well, he's no longer credited.
That's right. He's
Out
retired.
of respect for this, once I started hiring assistants and not doing all the work myself, I was like, oh, I shouldn't credit my dog. There are
I shouldn't equate
there are
this
people
human with
working
a
their
dog.
asses off to
Right.
help me finish these records.
Was
Like,
for you? Was that just like a funny bit? Like what was just like? Fuck
he
it?
so I got a dog for my sanity, and it worked. I
Did Gordy
needed
like the studio, or
What?
was he?
I had just moved to New York. I had just done like the Red Bull Music Academy thing, and I got back from that, and I was moving into I hadn't even moved into my apartment. I was still living on my brother's couch, and I was like going through a very transitional period, and I was like only working, and I wasn't eating, and I wasn't sleeping, And I was like, I need something to make me know
Structure.
that it's morning.
Right.
And this happens in the morning. You
Right.
feed your dog, you walk your dog, you walk your dog in the afternoon, you walk your dog at night. And like obviously he was a puppy, so like 6 times in between then. But like if I'm up all night and all day and not taking care of myself,
It'll die.
the dog will suffer.
Yeah, the dog will die.
And I obviously like I'm not recommending to people out there struggling to go get a dog as a but
you got to deal with some other shit sometimes first.
I didn't have a 9 to 5. I didn't have any sort of structure in my life. Like I was eating 1 meal a day, whatever, and like
Just
having
bang
a
energy all
dog.
day.
One might say Gordy saved your life.
100%. So I
Beautiful.
credited him
There you go.
because without him, none of that stuff happened.
It's a two-way street, baby.
Well, Alex, take our constructive criticism and definitely implement both of them and
For
run
sure,
with it.
dude. That's
And
for
we
you. It's not for us
Okay,
at all, by the way. It's
definitely.
for
We
you.
just want to thank you for coming on to
Yeah, we appreciate
the
you, man.
only podcast that matters. Do you have anything you want to plug? Any projects?
Yeah.
Where can the kids follow you on socials? The
floor
mic is yours.
I mean, my Twitch once I get back on there, because like Twitch streaming for me is very draining.
Okay.
Gang.
It zapped all of my energy. Like someone like Kenny is like a hero in that aspect where he can get on and
Right.
but we are going to be streaming this album. We're creating this album live.
Yeah.
Me and Bijan, the producer, Bijan Amir, he produced Ric Flair Drip with Metro.
Oh, shit.
He's going to be producing all the beats live on stream. Then we're going
Sick.
to get artists to fly here, record in this room. We're going to have a bunch of cameras in here,
Fire.
better lighting, record all the film, the entire recording
Entire
process.
session.
It's going to all happen in this room live on stream.
Yep.
Sick.
And then I'm going to mix it, which I've already done a few albums live on stream.
Right.
So
that's coming up.
that's coming up.
Where can they find you on Twitch? What's your handle?
Just Alex Tumay.
Okay.
Everything's just Alex Tumay. It's
All your
simple.
socials, all your
Instagram,
everything.
Twitter.
everything.
All right,
Sick.
Alex. Well, thank you for coming on. To
Yeah, we appreciate you, man.
Thanks
only
for having me.
podcast that matters. We have an engineer of our own. His name is Chef, and I wanted to slap that motherfucking outro music right now.
Okay, cool, okay, boo, I love her. I'm a saver, yes, I Danny Glover. I'ma call my poppin' for her fucking mother. I paid them a mile and then they kiss each other. Hot. Every time I fuck, I gotta hit me lean like 2 bitch. Boy, that dope and whip, you need like no wrist. Foreign car outside, that bitch got 2 ditch. Money stand like 8 feet, just like 2 bitch. Who the fuck told you that young fucker gon' fuck up the beat? I got 6 cars and I also got runners and all of them titties. No, I'm not Nipsey, not from LA, but I got keys to the city. I fuck it, I suck it, I beat it down, then she beat me to the ceiling. Stoning my lifestyle, I'm living too well. I can't even make it proud. The money keep her around, and low with her head, I can't turn it down. Can't wait for my time to come back around. She see that you don't got little Haiti style. Plus I just see Soup on girl going wild. I just bought $1 billion and the bitch came with it. Young rich nigga hit $1 million lick. Ballin' in New York like a motherfucking Nick. You better have them rats you ever wanna hear me spit. And everywhere I go, I got a pass like a staff. I'm going up top like a motherfucking lamb. 350, I'm 6 shots like an L. I left 10 bands in a motherfucking town. Okay, cool, okay, boo, I love her. I'm a saver, yes, I Danny Glover. I'ma call my poppin' for